Welcome one and all. You already know what time it is. It is time for Street Fighter League Pro Japan. Happy Friday to you all. And speaking of Fridays, you already know we had to bring it to you. It's Division F coming back in the streets this time around. We talked about it before. This is week number 7. Everything matters here from here on out, I should say, as you're getting closer and closer to that playoff spot. My name is Vicious, here with my man St. Cola. Let's talk about all of the action coming up. As you can see from both the left and the right sides of the screen, this is what our matchups are looking like today. Before we get into it, yo, St. Cola, how are we feeling today, brother?
Cool, so we're excited. It's Sewer Die time, as you had mentioned. All these teams are vying for as many points as possible. It's no longer, try to enforce maybe a sudden death sort of situation where I can get 25 points. It's 40 bombers or bust for a lot of teams because the contention is pretty dang tight out here. In fact, just a few stats real quick. Fau Gaming, unfortunately, is the lowest scoring team in the league so far, and to even crest the top and get a hope and dream of being above that playoff line, you're going to need 40 bombers all the way through. Reject can become the highest scoring if they score 30 points or above. And CAG and Crazy Raccoon match will determine where they stand and who will be above that qualification line, at least between those two. So there's a lot to consider for today's action.
And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because of what it looked like in regards to both divisions and how things have kind of fared up between the away side and the home squad. The away side statistically has not gotten as many W's in consideration from things on the other side of the street with Division S. That was more of like a different standard in regards to how the away side is doing. So with that in mind, there's a lot on the line, I feel like, with how the away side needs to perform to retain their points and also to solidify themselves into the playoffs, because we've seen how much is on the line. We have 8 million yen in totality for the pool, with 5 million going to first, 2 million going to second, and 1 million going to third, as well as a lot of other incentives that go towards the individual players as well. We talked about that a handful of times. We will get there when we get there if they show it on the screen once more. But as it stands right now, you already know it's going to be kind of ridiculous with all the matchups at hand, with how close it is too with the top 3 current teams, right? The current leading teams. But I will say this, like, having 180 points is a pretty comfortable spot, right?
Yeah, it feels real good, right? Like, you don't want to get too comfortable, but it feels good that you've amassed those points to this point, and you're a little bit more solidified than the other teams who are kind of scrambling a little bit more. But things can change, and it does feel like a lot of these players have been changing their play styles, what they've been doing outside of the league. You saw Shuto recently get that CPT qualification, shout out to him, and that shakes up things for the World Warrior, of course. So, you know, even outside, you see these players grinding it out, traveling around the world, especially Itazan, Daigo, to amass more strategies and bring it back for their teams as well. That kind of changes things up in terms of how they approach matchups or the different parts of the meta. And also just the understanding, I think, of the game has also changed a little bit too as well, with the slight nerfs and buffs that have happened mid-season patch. Beyond all that, again, as mentioned, I feel like when you look at the strategy for some of these teams, you see a lot more solidity in the second half, and a lot of this matters as they are trying to gun for some of these awards too as well. Shout outs to the sponsors and Street Fighter League for giving these players some good 50k yen per award for certain awards. So season MVP award, point getter award, win rate award, rookie of the year award, and our favorite, Drive Impact award, which a lot of players have been going for on those players that are above the age of 30. Very cruel thing to do, but I will do that too.
Yeah, it makes me wonder like how old the top earner actually is, right? I think Higuchi was holding that spot as of last Tuesday, but I didn't get to actually calculate it out, at least from the regards of Division S. But going in with Division F, I want to see how that kind of shakes up. And you can see there's a lot going on in the land of Japan, especially with their fans. Man, Shaka's going back in with the official watch party, huh? I think he is the #1 streamer in Japan. I'm not even exaggerating. And also, he's been doing a lot of FPSs lately. I know FPSs have gotten like wildly popular in Japan and like other shooters in general as well. But there's also the big support coming in from the players who are off, right? You also have those 3 players being able to throw it down, and some of the organizations all a part of the watch party. And what better way to get ready for all the CPT action, right? We also have a big week of World Warrior events that are going down. And then even the weekend after this one, we're going to have that super premiere happening, right?
Yeah, that's true. Definitely can't wait to see what's going to happen out there. So a lot of players are going to converge out there for the premiere, the super premiere, I should say. But also, in regards to, you talked about the support that some of these teams are showing. Crazy Raccoon just recently ran their Crazy Raccoon Street Fighter Cup. Again, he just won that. Shaka did. I'm sorry. I just won that recently. So it's cool to see that he's still sticking with the game. And a lot of players are. I only got to saw some clips. That's production. Just them for that. But I only got to see a few clips. The production for that was amazing, by the way. It was super cool. Hopefully, we get to watch a little bit later. But right now, watch the Street Fighter League. Let's lock in and clock in. As right now, our team coming up, the new kids on the block no longer. CAG making drop the Eternal Ace Uryo on the JB, always putting that sauce and always taking down his opponents, whether it be first to two, first to three, first to one, doesn't matter to him. He'll get it done. After that, the Unlimited Dragon Dance, ain't the ever-aggressive Akuma that's been able to pull back when need be. Always great to see him return to the land of the streets. After that, Theoretical Valley, I don't know what that means at all, but I know that it's Finrich on that hyper-aggressive block. You see a trend out here, very aggressive players, but it's definitely working out as the extraordinaire Goichi Go1, the one that gets it done, the defensive god himself, can back it up with his extraordinary wall of defense and normals. This team has been absolutely fantastic. If I look at the rankings, they are currently in third, but that could change today. Hey, yo, you are too close. You're looking like St. Cole in the early days. Relax.
That's 2020 era. I think you've coined that. I don't think he's allowed to do that. The way that Eita pulls back from the camera is just as creepy. But let's talk about it, right? Crazy Raccoon coming up from the home squad, having a very, very spectacular event for all of the streamers and pros in Japan. It was actually kind of wild. I was watching it from the Yogibo Reject side. I was watching it along with the fighting game Uncle, which I will get into just a little bit. The pro pugilist. I'll get into that a little bit later for those that don't know. But Crazy Raccoon, let's talk about the home field. We got the judge, jury, and band. The Papa Twins. It's Bon Chan. It's my personal favorite, man. No bias, but he truly is the one that is loved back by fighting games. It is the one and only Kazunoko. Big congratulations to this man finding the character he needed to succeed. It is Shuto, our newest member into the big dance of Capcom Cup. And of course, all coming together to make that pact with the Wind Devil himself. That is Dogura as their captain. Truly a remarkable team in terms of talent and in terms of star power. Some of my personal favorites in general to watch. It is Crazy Raccoon coming in from the home side. What a beast! What a god! My man brought the trophy out. That is the sickest flex anyone could ever ask for. Yo, Shuto, I see you! That is so cool, man. That's actually so cool.
I like that energy. That's the kind of energy you gotta have. You got that W, you're solidified for the CPT. Now your team's solidified, but the CAG Osaka bring up their characters as Blanca, Akuma, and Jamie. Now, on my list, when I saw this, I thought Shuto, Dogura, and Kazunoko should go up. Kazunoko being like the most important thing, because I feel like he understands the Jamie matchup, or Jamie just in general, more than anybody in the world in terms of Street Fighter League. And probably as much as Uryo and the other JV players. Like, he had been leading the charge for that character when Street Fighter 6 had happened, when it, like, during the first release. And goes back and forth playing the character on rank, so he understands how to run that character. I think he should be an anchor. Shuto and Dogura, maybe interchangeable, but I feel like Dogura would be good against Akuma, and I feel like Shuto, with that aggression with his Akuma, will definitely be able to keep Finrich on his toes. What do you think?
I think that makes sense. What I was thinking about is possibly interchanging Bonchan with Shuto, but only because I think Shuto had so much experience against all of the Ken players over in Singapore, and he's still going to be playing pretty hot. I do like Bonchan's overall defense against a plethora of different characters, so having him play off against a Blanca player, I think he'd be more than suitable for the task, but I also wouldn't mind seeing Shuto up first. I think that also kind of like makes a lot of sense to do that. I think he had a lot of the Blanca experience over from the past weekend. I mean, Bonchan as well. So I think those two I will agree with. Seeing Kazunoko on the anchor, I think that was guaranteed, in my opinion. I think I love Cammy against Jamie majority of the time. So I think there's no question there, but we'll see, man. There might be a couple of surprises. We might even see Dogura step up to the plate if he doesn't want to see a pair of the same characters up. Actually, I would have to see Bison versus possibly Ken.
Oh, if Eita goes for the Ken if he switches off, or I mean, that'd be good against Akuma too, because Eita could switch, and he has said.
Go ahead. Sorry about that.
I was gonna say, like, I think Bison either way on Akuma or Ken would be fantastic. Like, Eita has said on his stream every so often he will switch if need be, depending on the matchup. But I think Bison does well against both matchups. Like, he don't kill Akuma, but he goes even enough. What are we gonna say? What?
Okay.
Dogura against the Blanca.
I was gonna say maybe more so towards the Blanca, but like before I interrupted you, but that's still also like a coin toss, right? I still think Shuto would have been just as great, which begs the question: do you think Shuto's gonna step up second?
I think, man, see, in terms of mirror matches, I like Bonchan's like history with mirror matches overall, but maybe Shuto does step up. I think he's not flexing that trophy for nothing, right? I think he's out here to do some damage. I don't think he goes with the anchor. There's no way. I think Kazunoko is solidified for that. But talking about this matchup, when Bison dropped, this is obviously early days, I had a quick discussion with Problem X. He was like, this match was kind of annoying, and the variance of the air approach makes it a little bit difficult. Not as difficult as Cammy, but it is kind of hard to deal with Blanca's aerial approach. Obviously, Crouch Fierce and Hell Attack weren't solidified for the character. He said it was an annoying matchup, but it wasn't one that Bison can't fight. I don't know about now, though. I never really get to see that matchup now, so I'm curious of what's going to happen here. Dogura going up, obviously they have a game plan for this, so is Dogura's almost psychic kind of power enough to keep up with Finrich and that hyper pacing that he has with Blanca? I don't know. I feel like Finrich plays like a versus player, but then again, Dogura is a man of many games as well. He's been in the rungs of many games that have many different speeds, especially more speeds than when it comes to Street Fighter, so he might be well versed for this sort of playstyle.
Finrich has really sharpened up his tactics with Lightning Beast. I feel like one of the big indicators of like Blanca's success really comes and revolves around Lightning Beast. I think having that super held it's gonna have like a very similar effect as having the Isar as Rashid, right? You're forcing the player to be on the defensive end, forcing a ton of mix-ups, and also if you land a hit, you get a ton of damage off of it into another mix-up, which is really, really powerful. So I think you'll have to treat it the same way. I kind of want to see what type of pacing Fenris is going to play at first, and if it's enough to prevent Dogura from even playing offense in general. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I'd also keep mentioning towards like the second games, I'm so stuck on Eita playing Ken that I didn't even realize what was on the screen, how it said Akuma. I'm like, man, it's hard to see him go off of that character. Hard to see him step away from Ken just because of his fiery gameplay. The way he plays kind of resembles his attitude towards games and towards his opponents as well. Can be kind of loony. But going back before I digress, Blanca versus Bison, man, it is, I feel like, it could be a little bit problematic, I feel like, for Blanca to really try to contest with his normals. I know he could have a really, really annoying presence just based off of crouching medium punches as well, taking up a lot of that space. It also has a sharp jump angle, which could be a little bit hard to contest, but I like Bison being able to contest that. A little bit more hang time on Blanca allows you to be susceptible to the hell attacks often. So we'll see how it plays out. I want to see what the pacing is like from both players. I think whoever prevails on offense, whoever gets their offense started, I should say, to be more specific, is the one that is going to be taking the rounds.
We agree with that.
You already saw it, right? Dogura started off with a walk-up into the scissor kicks, by the way.
Just as gangster. Uh-oh, can't traverse that close. Immediate throw here from Finrich. I wonder if Finrich will go for like a lot of TK Blanca balls. Like, we've seen that happen with him. He won't even put any OD sauce on it. He'll just go for the raw one to get the punish counter. Let's see if that works out here. Back heavy kick, the throw right after it. Got the punish counter, dash up, pressure. We jump out immediately, get the back medium kick as well. Frame kill for another back medium kick. But Dogura just walking up with pure confidence. Able to kill nice and easy. Cycle crusher. Yeah. No bar necessary.
What a beautiful combo. Standing roundhouse into back roundhouse into the Psycho Crusher. Beautiful stuff. I'm really loving the attitude right now. Dogura gets the throw. Drive rush forward. No, it's just regular dash. And a big contention point from Fenrich with a wake-up jab. That was a counter hit. Crouching heavy punch. Does find the mark. Wake up air ball. I like that to avoid the throw. We talked about the lightning beast. Let's see what Dogura's defense is like. He had to do something or else he's going to put in the burnout. So I do... Man, I was going to say, I do like that option up until this point.
You have to level 1 at this point. You saw the button. Bust out. Oh, that was reverse punch edition. Deals with the heavy kick. Careful now. Oh, maybe Blanca's buttons might be a little bit too stubby to contest against scissor kick at some of these ranges.
A little tough. Oh, you get to cancel again. Oh, you missed your drive rush cancel. That could have been into Cycle Punisher. Any sort of sequence into Cycle Punisher, yeah.
What are you doing?
Punish counter. He was in burnout. I understand, but from that range, still gonna be punished. Level 1 had to do it. Fenrich optimizing the damage towards the end of that.
You see him not go for like driver stay fierce or something like that, but either way, what's the throw? Hits him with the OD. Does that jump in? Now let's switch up in terms of like the anti-air approach. You see tap parry. Nice, a slight back block, finds it with punish.
Beautifully done. Catches whatever movement it was from Fenrich. What? You're actually OD for that.
See, Bison players do different combos. It's not just a typical Twitter combo, relax. Burn out, drive reversal. This is his game to win. All he has to do is wait for his opportunity, block this out, and stay solid. He'll take this damage. As long as you keep that drive gauge nice and healthy. It's a one-touch scenario. Level 1 doesn't reach. It's from the back door. He side switches.
Does it again?
Level 1, this one hits.
At all. No regard towards Fenrich's offense. Does not give a damn. But that's also such a risky move. All things considered, he had barely enough life to kind of... Actually, no, he wouldn't have enough life to maybe survive a big punish counter combo. I couldn't tell you. I didn't get to see the amount of bar that Fenrich had, but either way, the big first W going towards Dogura.
This is fantastic, and as I mentioned, that gets a counter combo. Wake-up options have been pretty damn on point here for Dogura to stay alive. Overhead does land. He gets a fall right after. Fenrich, back medium kick again. OD scissor kick, overhead, back fist for the bomb. This time he backs off. All right, careful now, Fenrich, careful now. See the target combo right after. Good timing from the side of Dogura to be able to sneak that in.
He is going nuts right now. Empty jump low! That is the Japan staple. I think I've seen like almost every ranked person I met online in Japan had done that.
It's a good button. And the way that Dogura's playing is like, at first it was like, I'm gonna poke away. Now it's, I'm gonna double the damage. I like this. And spin that bar. Get a nice big lead right here. Don't wait for that level 3 for the victory. You're already harassing him so continuously. TK OD Blanca ball does lead himself outside the corner. The anti-airs right there with the crouch fierce and stand fierce with the plus frames. Walks back again. The micro walk back off the crouching medium punch has been ridiculous. Hits him with a level 1, and look at this fantastic lead. Needs to be able to kill that drive gauge though. Not just kill the character. One more hit will do it.
Oh, we get to apply a mix too. Chop. Oh, he tried to beat out a throw. What was the reversal? The back dash to avoid the throw. Dogura, you psychic genius. You literally talked about it before the game started. This man, Dogura, has been 2 steps ahead the whole time, riding off into the sunset with Rosanante. Beautifully played and beautifully read by Dogura.
Like every wake-up super hit. except for one that was jumped over because Finrich was already in the motion of jumping over in the first place. But that again shows to me that Finrich wasn't ready for those wake-up options to like punish continuously. We did see a few things, you know, a few openings, but that's gonna happen when you fight Blanka. But overall, the counter combos were coming through very well. Dogra was not getting pieced up so continuously, and I like his gameplay at the very end. Instead of going for like level 3 and waiting for like your typical bomb combo, he went for level 2, harassed the drive gauge, went for level 1 sequence right after, and then had a huge enough lead. So if he did get caught up in a blender in a level 2, he'd be a-okay to not get killed. Like, I like that forward-thinking approach. When I'm watching Bison players like DCQ and a few others, they're willing to spin that bar for like level 2 and level 1 right after, instead of just going for level 3 to get that easy kill or whatever. I feel like that may be the way to play, because you're aiming for the drive gauge. Pugera also did that last time we saw him. Like, he's like, I'm aiming for your drive gauge so I have a bigger lead, so I'm not panicking. It helps solidify the neutral a little bit for the character. 10 points for Crazy Raccoon. A very good start considering last time. Crazy Raccoon had also gotten 40 points over CAG Osaka. They'd like to do so out here again. Banche goes here now.
You know, I always forget that he has blonde hair sometimes, and he's always wearing the hat on stream. So when he took off the hat briefly, I'm like, did he shave his head? I thought he went to the bald gang. I'm like, there's no way fatherhood hit you that hard, right? But this was the appropriate call. But Eita, not a fan whatsoever. He's really putting on the theatrics today. But I will say, as much as we kind of talk about Bonchen really doing exceptionally well in the mirror matches, we had seen that a plethora of times over at EWC. We had seen it a handful of times on his streams and World Warrior. I wonder if he'd be able to do so and find that success against someone like Eita, who throws out some really wild looks, right? I think his pacing has been so hard to read in comparison to the rest of a lot of the players in Japan. I think he's one of the crazier styles that we've ever really experienced in Street Fighter in general. So I think this is the ultimate test of patience. I feel like that's going to be towards Bonchen. But we'll see. I think Eita, as great as he is on offense, I think, and as wild as he is, I think some of the wild decisions he can make can lead him to an early grave.
That is true. I will give him a little bit of credit here. Like, on his stream, he was definitely a lot more wild, not mild. Like, he was definitely busting out with the DPs a lot during his CFN adventures. But out here in Street Fighter League, he does have a lot more moments where he pulls back. I think he recognizes that he will die in like 2 interactions, even more so in this game. And that for him to play like that, I guess, especially against like a very strong like grounded player like Bonchen, I think he understands how to like pull back and when to pull back. Like watching him Street Fighter League a few times the East come up, he definitely has moments where he's able to just kind of calm down just a little bit. He'll still be wild, but he definitely has moments of pause. So we are getting the interview. Eita said, I was expecting Dogra, but I trained for Akuma as well. Bonchen is really looking down on people. He thinks it's too easy. Really? Bonchen, you talk that mess like that?
I hope he's doing the shh, as in like, don't make me too excited. The kids are taking a nap right now, so please be quiet. I wonder, but I don't know if that's actually, yeah, keep it down. The kids are sleeping right now. I wonder what that interview's gonna be like, but we'll see. Either way, started this off with the first W with Dogra, a pretty important factor, right? To be able to solidify as many points as possible. Crazy Raccoon is technically under the line going into it. As it stands right now, they have currently leapfrogged over CAG Osaka for 3rd place by just 5 points. But Bonchen, his interview, okay, it's come in. He thanks Dogra for the first win. Now we'll be able to win. Perfect. You know, very confident. I like that. Hopefully he can back it up. I'm sure he's been the one to back it up for a while, so. And he's like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Towards the end of his interview.
Famous last words. You've seen it here at Street Fighter League where a lot of people talk that mess and get messed up. Besides Shuko, I think he's a rare one to be able to back up his words when he is able to spill like that. But we'll see, though. We mentioned Bonchen with some of those fantastic defense, especially for the mirror match. He's been so good about perfect pairing the fireballs. And his ground game is absolutely insane. Look at that slide walk back with a crouching medium punch starter, adding the fist snuck in, having to get Tatsu to dump as much damage as possible, and the throw right after. One more touch. It might be an easy victory.
Just needs to like to do it. Yeah, that's actually the perfect range. You use forward medium kick to test out the ranges, and if they try it again with the fireball, you can just easily poke that out for the trade to get that W. Very, very smart placement from Bonchan. Overall, his spacing against Eita has forced a lot of critical errors. And now, we do get the exposure down below. We had a small stint of offense coming in from Eita. Oh, that was so ambiguous. That was literally right above Bonchan's head with the guillotine.
The throw, the backdash is there. Look at the shades of defense here from Eita. Sweet. He's in burnout, but definitely has bar to work with. He's got that level 1 if he needs it. Actually, honestly, one touch, a single breeze, an overhead. Claims a lack of bond check for that round. The walk speed, right? Like, that makes it even more difficult to deal with. Even if you are Akuma, stand like kick buffer, heavy kick. We talked about that stand like kick. Everybody and their moms is using that. I feel like Bonchan leading the charge for that button, just like Luke.
As they should, to be honest. Very great button to buffer out of, too. Stand him up, crouching heavy. Level 3, and we're going to get the explosion of the drive gauge, but also the health. Considering he is a glass cannon, 900 health, gets drained pretty fast. A very, very high-end dive kick, actually. I don't think it matters because of the fact that it was in burnout, and what a snipe. Bonchan running it all the way downtown in the backstreet alley with that OD uppercut against the air fireball. Really well placed and really well timed.
He says, time to turn up the difficulty setting. This dog is very easy. He's on the story mode right now. But Eita, honestly, I would like him to get a little bit more explosive. I know it's kind of risky with Akuma, but that wild style that we know Eita for, I feel like he's a little bit too pensive. The moments where he does get aggressive, I think it'll work out. But it's hard to go for that fireball gameplay against someone like Bonchan. He has been known for that continuously. He's got the perfect character to do so. Perfect parry to punish right after. At the perfect range this time. Light. Ends his turn. The backdash is there. He was aware of the throw. No back throw for you.
Look at how fast he's draining Eita's life, or his drive gauge, excuse me. You get the adamant fist. Oki is there. Forward throw. What are you going to do about it now? Medium kick as the meaty. Nice work. That would have led to so much damage either way. What a way to finish it. Eita on the board, at least for the first round. But I think I got to say, oh, yeah, he didn't keep it true. I like the option select from Bonchan.
Ooh, tearing the guillotine. And the fadeaway with the stand fear starter. Oh, he's stealing turns off that crouching medium punch. Perfect parry. Do we go for a sweep? Yes, we do. Back throw. Yes, sir. Reposition yourself. Lock him up in the corner. Make it easier to deal with the demon flip.
Oh, I'm loving that. Good awareness from Eita to throw out the OD fireball just in case. The punish counter is there with the whiff punish. All you need left, level 2. Bam! Hard to digest with the size of the hole in your chest. Yo, Bonchan bringing it down to match point with a single bar to his name, but Eita could make the comeback happen. He does have 3 bars to his name, but 1 single confirm could lead to a fat amount of damage. Overhead, completely unseen by Eita. Going for the max damage ender, actually, from Bonchan. Not max damage, but decent amount of damage with the uppercut either way.
Comes with Kuma, then everything is max damage for the character. Level 3, gonna get that bar back. It's Calamity, big goal coming through. And I think if you're Eita, I think if you want to play the fireball game, or the anti-fireball game, perfect parry is good, but you might have to go for more OD fireballs. Go band to band. Change with the variance. The dive kick does hit. Oh, it was a setup the entire time. We're going for those fireballs. I got that anti-projectile dive kick to cut through. It was a setup. The perfect parry. Waits for the second fireball to come through from Bonchan. That's been the typical back and forth. I'll throw a fireball. You throw a fireball right after. Either we perfect parry, we don't. But he goes for the dive kick that time and blesses those feet. It's game to game. And again, that aggression is what we want to see, especially in the mid-screen session. I want Eita to establish himself.
Eita throwing out the signs towards Bonchan and the camera, the player cam, stealing Bonchan's intro away from him. He's feeling himself. Option select, covering the jump with the uppercut in case the throw and whiff. Bonchan getting the Tatsu in the corner as well. Frame kill off the forward medium. Applies the throw, and he gets to do it again if he wanted to, just outside of the range. For a Fierce could have been very, very explosive. Drive reversal. Excellent choice from Bonchan. But still the exposure into level 1. Down below, Eita is breaking the ankles of Papa Bonchan right now. He's like, you ain't down to play on the hardwood like me.
Picture is now, old man. You saw Eita pop it off a little bit, but the camera too as well. Fast with the fireball to drop him down and stop him from doing the demon flip. The timings of the fireballs have been ridiculous. As soon as I say that, blessed on the dome with the guillotine, the throw right after, charge of fireball. Yeah, put some more variants on it. Switch it up, different flavors. Level 2 charge up, the fast fireball off the heavy, ODDP. Yo, Bonchan is so steady when it comes to that cancel, the drive rush right after. Won't let you do that for free.
I think it was relatively smart. I think Eita might have perhaps egged that on purpose to get some of Bonchan's drive gauge down. Okay. No, you can't do it like that.
Spat and burnout. Makes a throw. Wait till that bar gets back. Honestly, I would just sit back and let these fireballs come through, block a few, jump over a couple, get that bar back a little bit faster. Try to get active, but that allowed for his demise. Too many fireballs, too much activity. It's the final game, final round. It might have been better just to hold back just a little bit, pull back on the fireballs, and as you block, you get the drive gauge back a little bit faster and put yourself back in the green.
Yeah, I think it was kind of antsy. Bonchan was at the yellow, or pretty much at 1 bar. So I think, you know, with the risk he was taking to try to get him into burnout first would have been a pretty good risk to take. But speaking of risks, Bonchan throwing no regard in the win with the OD uppercut in the corner, eating maximum damage. This might be Eita's game. He might be putting himself close to burnout though.
Oh, first throw. Bonchan with 1 touch. What was that touch?
You know,
oh no!
I read the bar wrong. I read it all wrong. That was Eita taking the wild gambles. That was my mistake. You know, I closed my eyes for a second. I genuinely thought that was Eita throwing, or sorry, I thought that was Bonchan throwing it all away. That's crazy.
What was that Tatsu though? Was he trying to go over the fireball preemptively? No, Imperium's in, I think, his back punches. Ooh.
Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you towards the end of it. We might see the replay either way of that exact time frame, but either way, I think there were a good amount of looks that Eita was showing off against Bonchan initially, but you started to really notice how impatient he was in regards to trying to force the burnout from Bonchan. It kind of led to his demise, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I could think of,
that was Imperium
the only thing I could really think about was maybe Tatsu pass the fireball, but that's still such a wild thing to anticipate.
Yeah. I feel like at that point, why not just use Imperium's in, right? Like, if you're gonna do something with an anti-fireball, even though it's a little bit shorter range, I feel like that'd be a more solid answer. But either way, that's 20 points totality here for Crazy Raccoon. And I misspoke previously. It was CAG Osaka taking it over Crazy Raccoon last time. We're going to repeat that same sort of scenario. Kazunoko looking to clean things up. I, again, like this decision. I don't think Jamie does horribly in this match. I still think that Cammy is favored. But I think Kazunoko, again, understands this character through and through. We're going to find somebody that plays Jamie. You can at least ask Kazunoko for some matches. He may not main the character all the time, but he definitely understands the ins and outs and plays that character quite a bit. Has many hours in the character. And I think is always at legend with the character, even after the resets happen.
It's actually kind of wild to hear, man. Kazunoko will be really grinding out a lot of these games non-stop. I mean, partially due to the fact that it is his job. But I think even if it wasn't, he'd be grinding it out regardless, right? I think he's one of the brightest minds that we've ever asked for in fighting games. I think he's done a great job in every fighting game he touches, right? He's played a plethora of different anime fighters in the past too. He's also known to not wanting to play neutral. So we'll see how that plays out. I think both of these characters can do a pretty good job of that.
Uryo, kind of similar in some ways, right? Like he's kind of that wild child out here. We see him throwing the palms every so often, the dash ups. He's very aggressive, and he has a footsie pattern that's really hard to read, and he knows how to make the most out of most situations with his character. What is going on? Are they cheering for him in the background? I was like, wait,
I
he's
assume
screaming
so.
here. Like, Is it my neighbors or?
I hope not. I would be way more concerned if it was actually your neighbors. That would actually be terrifying.
So I don't have to hold that. I know it's 5:30, but this action is too hot, bro. Uryo says, it's been since Ultra Street Fighter League since I played with Kazunoko. Really excited for this game. I wonder if they've ever played in 6, or maybe in 5 as well. They've ever had some matches there. They've even traded notes.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Both are very, very much so big Street Fighter figureheads in Japan, and also no matter what Street Fighter game they touch, I feel like they've had a lot of experience in it, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if they did. They 100% played in Street Fighter 4. I can guarantee you that.
Kazunoko says, hey, I'm really excited for this game. I use Jamie too, so I understand the moves. That's what we talked about before. He understands the character. He's been grinding with that character. He loves that character. I mean, the character has a dive kick, so you're going to love that character either way. He says he wants to show what he's trained for. So I think if you're Crazy Raccoon, you had to know this was coming through. You had to have known this was going to happen. You put up Uryo for a reason. I mean, he's been hot recently for the team, for CAG Osaka. For Crazy Raccoon, on the other side of things, though, this is obviously what they planned for, too. Let's see who takes it, though. Whose strategy reigns supreme? Who knows more about Jamie?
That would be rather disrespectful, man, if Kazunoko gets an outright 3-0. That's the classic right there. Wouldn't mind throwing out that palm in the wind. Perfect parry to steal back a turn. I like that. Full target combo sequencing into the safe jump. Empty jump, crouch jab instead. Very sharp angle dive kick. And also in rebuttal, fighting off against Kazunoko's own dive kick. He's gonna take a swig.
Between.
No uppercut this time.
100% damage. Perfect parry, though. With the side switch off the charge. Spiral arrow. Hit with that heavy kick. I feel like Jamie's one of those characters that can definitely deal with that heavy kick, with that stamina kick of his, try to hit the OD palm, get something at all. The DP is baited the wrong distance, or really, I think he just went for the wrong timing on the DP.
Perhaps. Ooh. He is able to snag a drink and also snag himself out of the corner. 3 drinks to Uryo's name. Could be pretty disastrous. Punish counter, sweep into the level 4, activate. Yes, sir. He's topsy-turvy right now. Counter hit, no!
You hate to see it.
He could have killed. It was counter hit. Counter hit, crouch jab into whatever you wanted. Into a level 1. Would have been just fine. Unlucky. Very unlucky.
Uryo giving him that game up, unfortunately. Kazunoko taking that, of course. I'll let that go. Look at the dive kicks. Both these players have been so good to aim for the toes and make sure everything is plus and perfect. The bumper, though. Stand meter kick, palm. Time to train. Back to the lab again. See what he goes for. Probably damage. 10-side kick, jump heavy kick, stand fierce, sweep, swig. Double 10-side kick with the stand fierce right after. Wow. Oh, this guy's going off right now. He on one. The delay on the medium worked out to lead to this. Enhancer on the Bakai spinning at the win. That's a perfect on Kazunoko. Do you really know this character? Maybe you do, but you don't know me.
Challenge me again, I dare you. Challenge me again. This is kind of dangerous too. Uryo kind of finding himself back into the corner. Kazunoko with a big whip punish against the palm. Level 1 to dump out the damage. OD uppercut coming in from Uryo. Snagging a drink as well.
Nice. Perfect parry. Knew that the DP wasn't going to reach at that moment. And saw switch up with a jump in. Uh-oh. Back to the corner you go. What's the wake-up option? Another DP. He cannot be denied his damage and his DPs. His reversals have been on point. Back dash again. Holding parry. Now he's in that range. The jump heavy kick will try to tap the parry or go for the perfect parry. Another DP. Can't take too much more, though. Too far for the throw. And Kazunoko with the slight walk back to punish the throw and land himself the first game.
Very smart to kind of test the waters a little bit because we've seen how far Jamie's low forward can hit. I think just avoiding any sort of grabs in that scenario would have been like the last thing on a lot of players' minds, but Kazunoko one step ahead again. Kind of funny enough, she doesn't even have to do that as an anti-throw tool. She could do like a instant OD dive kick if need be. So going for the walk back was a very interesting decision overall. Still paid off though.
That's actually an interesting thing to note, because as Jamie, like, you'd like to get the command grab off, especially up in the corner, like, to lead the damage, even though it's been scaled. But that's one more thing you have to worry about, is that wake up OD dive kick from Cammy. That extra option that she has, if she does bust out, she'll get the side switch. So even more things to worry about on defense that just benefit her that Kazunoko can do. It hasn't needed to like show it at all. Like, it hasn't had to come up just yet. We'll see if it has to occur. Although I do like Uryo overall. His ODDP ratios has been pretty damn good. Yeah, one was baited outside the distance or maybe missed time. But either way, like in terms of like his reversals and wake up, they've been pretty damn good. Just has to solidify the entry point. Palms aren't going to work out against someone like Kazunoko. Against drive rush, palm, stuff like that. If you're not able to walk in or hide that in, he is going to punish you with crouching medium kick, stand fierce, whatever it may be. He is ready and prepared like prepared for any sort of entry point. So you can't just throw out palm like you'd like to get a knockdown and sip your sauce. You're gonna have to come through in a different sort of way.
Yeah, I mean, with the changes with the palm though, I feel like there's no need for you to really kind of like throw out one that would whiff. I think he went for medium palm twice over. The first one caught Kazunoko off guard the first time. The second one was out space, or like I guess Kazunoko was just outside of range and punished accordingly. I wouldn't mind seeing like the heavy version, because the heavier version is -3 after all, right? It doesn't be safe.
That's the switch up. Okay, after the DP, able to swing the sauce. Oh, yeah, trying to chase that chain or the back dash with the crouching medium kick. Counter hit coming through, and it goes for the sip from the Rekkas.
Yeah, why not throw that out? It is 5 frames after all. Good snag a counter hit with the standing heavy punch from Uryo. What a trade combo. Kazunoko 100% ready for that light exchange. Walking up with a couple of jabs, knocking on the door, forcing his way in with the throw.
Dr. Case gets a counter hit. Light, spiral arrow again. Drive reversal, offensive style, stay for the corner a while. Jump light kick, the DP is there, but can't take too much more. Good jump away. Dive kick does hit. Swing the sauce. No, he goes for the Oki. Dash for the medium. He won that counter combo to kill. Drive rush interrupted.
That was the one thing. That's the one thing Kazunoko was looking for. He was spaced in such a way to anticipate either that or even a palm.
And like, it's such a good answer too. Oh, we talked about this. Stand heavy kick, be with punish with the stand medium kick. We're always ready for that spacing. DP is ready. Dash up. Base out the ODDP for free. Drive rush stand fierce. Palm, sweep. Let me get a swing. Oh, and the shimmy. Now taking a page out of Kazunoko's book.
Oh, you can't do that! You might just lose after this. Yeah, you're hella dead. No! Kazunoko tried to go for the sneaky stuff. He could have secured the game. He had more than enough drive gauge left, and he had critical art.
Bust out. He's got the bar at the bottom. Now he can bust out. You should have finished your plate. Look, just a few veggies. And now, you're holding this W. Uryo was ready. He was like, okay, if you're gonna give this to me, I'll spin my bar at the bottom to stay in.
A very expensive comeback from Uryo. One thing to note now, Kazunoko, I was thinking he would be a little bit more aggressive, which he was. Uryo already had the answer. A couple of lights, threading the needle against the gas. Ah, you thought it was gonna be your turn to press. Not at that angle. Oh, you might actually be in danger. Sweeps, gets the chug, level 3 also. Light target combo.
Look at Muslim. I do know. One such scenario, ODDP, we side switch, drive impact, lets it rip. He's like, how old are you? Let me see your ID. Let that run. Should be able to get some bar back here. Had to do it. his drive gauge up. It's not on the green just yet. Oh, the dash up throw is challenged with the dive kick, and it lands perfectly. So I've studied you. Them dive kicks look fun. Let me do that too.
That's what you get for betraying me. That's what you get for not playing one of the members of the Twins family. I forget they're cousins, right? I think they're cousins, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the cousins, I think so. Yeah. Makes sense. We'll see the switch up here is for Kazunoko. And part of it's just like, honestly, finishing his play. He had a lot of moments to close it out, and then has to be also careful, I think, on the bust outs. Uryo's like, that's kind of my field. That's kind of my jungle. You don't know how to rumble like that. Trade, conversion, for the repiece, the crouch fears. Getting in again and baits out the ODDP. There we go, Kazunoko. Ready against those reversals.
Uh-oh. Now, I feel like that was just kind of something Uryo was willing to just accept. I don't think he wanted to let go of the level 1 just yet. With how much life he had lost and how much Kazunoko had left in the tank as well. God,
that's for the next game, next round. That's that medium kick. So I think his character can do decently well against Candy. He can play the footsie game right there. Crouching medium kick, lands the Rekkas. Reward is pretty damn good. Ooh, careful though, that could have been way worse. The heavy kick does land for the punish counter. Stand fierce, harassing the drive gauge with the back medium, forcing Uryo to back off.
Oh, punish! Letting go of the level 3 early, I like that too. Build up some of your gauge, burn out the opponent, putting himself near checkmate with that.
More touch, don't have to worry about the bar at the bottom, trying to jump and avoid the super. He was there. He was where he gets a back throw, but it's a one-touch scenario. I think it's gonna be a block. No, it's
You're
a punish.
Genius.
Whee!
You're actually a genius. Sai-ho! Hey! Yay! Kazunoko went and down, dive, kick it out. The trademark.
That's smart. We see a lot of crouching medium kicks in these shimmy scenarios. So if you see him kind of juke it back and forth, what else is he going to go for? And if he goes for like a stand medium kick, you can still hit the dive kick. You can still have that bless any of those buttons. Very smart stuff from Kazunoko. Very just, you know, more aware of what to do in terms of like closeout scenarios. Maybe he's not going for like the kill completely, but he is putting Uryo on the back foot where he's taking away some of these tools. If you're in burnout, can't ODDP, you're forced to go for that level 3, which did work out. But that's more that Uryo doesn't have to work with, unless that you do, or unless that you have to worry about, I should say. So for Kazunoko, I feel like he's got a better handle on how Uryo wants to play on Wake Up, what he's looking for in terms of the shimmy scenarios. He's getting more reward off. This is the Kazunoko you like to see. Understanding what to do with the character. Uryo's making some very wild mistakes. You know, those palms he did twice, trying to lead himself outside the corner, I get it, but Kazunoko was far outside the distance. He wasn't even in the same area code, I feel, half the time, and that led to like 2 whiff punishes that led him back to the corner.
Yeah. A little bit scary to kind of contest. I mean, I shouldn't say contest. It's a little scary to try to like close the gap and check somebody with like a medium palm, to be honest with you. I think I also wouldn't even trust myself saying that maybe try the heavy punch palm. It has a considerable amount of startup to it. 1, you can see the animation coming 2, and you're highly susceptible to both the parry and the drive impact because of those 2 things.
This is difficult. And like, what's left to approach the character? What's left to approach someone like Kazunoko, who has been using stand-like kick, stand fierce, or crouching medium kick? All these things that lead into Oki and to lead into maybe usage, lesser usage, I should say, of Uryo's drive gauge. You have to use that walk speed. You have to use the footsie game. Meanwhile, she's just dive kicking from the air. Again.
You know, we thought about it. We thought about it. That should be it. Spend the rest of the drive gauge. You already know. Getting the lift. Looking at match point because of it. A perfect nonetheless, by the way.
kick. Yeah, reading the buttons.
Upper, level 2. Spiral arrow into the, oh my god, into the uppercut. That was so much damage. And that roundhouse 2 to check. He's draining so much of the drive gauge already.
It's got DP. Can't leave for free. And Uryo on the back. I'm not seeing him have to play like this. It's been so long. Stand Fierce does delete that dive kick off the table, but still. Kazunoko with bar to work with. Won't overextend. Okay, swig. You gotta get something on the table. Your damage is so low without those sips of the sauce. Dive kick trying to hit something, nothing at all. For the air to air, tap parry. Extra 4 frames of recovery is bad. That drive gauge looking depleted and deleted again. Double burnout in the same round. Goes for the record. The sip of the sauce this time.
Oh, that's tough. Ah, you tried to contest against the axe. Coming in on your dome, it's going to be 3 games to 1. That is pretty dastardly. We haven't seen that at all throughout the set from Kazunoko. What a tricky thing to pull out towards the end. You saw Uryo try to contest it with a crouching normal. Had it been a standing normal, perhaps it would have been a different story. Or maybe even like a crouching heavy punch. That could have been a different story. No matter how you slice it though, just like Cammy did, if you don't got it, man, you don't got it. That's just how it goes.
It would have been sad if Kazunoko really, honestly, did not win this matchup again. He studied this character so much. He led the charge for Jamie players, I feel like, at the very beginning. And he just knew what to do. You know, there were moments where he didn't close it out, but once he got a handle on how Uryo wanted to play, he put Uryo on the back foot. There were too many panic scenarios. Those palms not really working out, and that allowed things for like this to hit. He was able to get the hooligan to get in. 40 points for Crazy Raccoon. That bumps him up 170. Wow. That's far above CAG Osaka, and that is once again another 40 bomber. History repeats itself over CAG Osaka. That is that's tough. That's difficult. That means for right now, CAG Osaka below that line to stay fine in terms of playoffs.
I mean, we talked about like the number of points you would need to kind of like be in somewhat of a safety net. We talked about 180 points kind of being the rough estimate of it in like the amount of time that they have to play. If it's anything similar to like what it was last year or even like in any of the other leagues. So hitting the 170 point mark with Crazy Raccoon, very, very good for now. To kind of be safe. They only have 3 more weeks left to play. One of the bigger surprises is seeing Shuto up here giving the winning interview regarding his teammates and not having to play. I think that's a pretty significant deal. Kind of a significant flex, not having to put your Super Premier Singapore champion up into the lineup this week. Dogura, Bonchan, Kazunoko, really, really well played. Dogura, the only one having a very clean set and a very fast one against any Blanca player that I've seen anywhere in the world, right? Most of the time you talk about Blanca players or like Blanca matchups, it does kind of go to the wire because how much more patient you have to play, I feel like. But Dogura seemed to have it figured out right out the gate. So very, very impressive again. 40 points to Crazy Raccoon to start things off. Unexpected. Unexpected that it was a 40.
Yeah. Maybe a 30 would have made sense, or like a 20-20 and like a tiebreaker. But again, the way they've all been playing is really good. As you mentioned, Shuto not going up. Maybe that's one of those things where he's like, listen, I'm a little bit more exhausted. Let's pull back a little bit. We are getting the interview from Shuto. He said the last episode had a mistake on the order. We need more team practice. We got stronger. I mean, they all got stronger, especially Shuto, obviously. But I feel like all these players have really solidified their game plans. Bonchan, we've been talking about forever. That stand-like kick has been introduced for his game plan to allow him to have a better ground game. And the way that Kazunoko plays just in general is always going to be insane. That guy is always in form. Dogura said before the review, I want to apologize for a statement recently. So I guess he's giving his regards for what he had said previously. These players out here are professionals. They definitely hold themselves to a high standard. And he said about the game, the training had paid off. You could see, like, he definitely had a game plan against Blanca. If Blanca would try to go for, like, a heavy kick anti-air, he would use doubles reverse the punch version instead of, like, the stomp to not get punish counter. Like, that was kind of like the switch up. I don't see a lot of Blanca players, a lot of Bison players use on Blanca. Like, I'm writing that down myself. So that's good stuff for Dogura. He definitely labbed out that matchup to be aggressive and be active enough to continue that pressure.
It's wild to see like this different side of Dogura, how much more serious he's taking it. Like, all things aside from the recent statement he made over in Kokujin's stream, that was the streamer that I was alluding to a little bit earlier. I think he's I don't know if he's like the owner, but I definitely know he's the main producer for the Reject team. But either way, I mean, all things considered, with the way that Kokujin is, he is like one of the godfathers of Street Fighter 3, one of the pillars of the third strike community. Also, like the pink pugilist with the Dudley, one of the best Dudleys in the world, right? I love seeing their kind of like banter in general, but Dogura, again, having to take a step back from that moment, that instance, and to really own up and show accountability, I think it's a great sign, man. I really give Dogura a lot of props, not even just from that. I just think seeing Dogura fully locked in, you can really see the prowess, right? We've seen that moment last year too in contention for like playoffs, right? During the playoff sections too. How much more of a threat he's become once he's fully invested, right? Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 6 Season 1. He's shown that off to be like one of the more competent players that can take down anybody. And it's very interesting to see that side of him right now, and I would love to see him continue to be that way for the rest of the season, especially when they have playoff chances now. But outside of that, we do have the rest of the... I don't know what they're doing. What?
What is this?
I don't know what they're doing.
They're talking about the dive kick, possibly. I'm not sure. But Bonchet says, I wasn't expecting Eita playing, but I practiced for both characters and was mentally advantaged. So he was definitely ready more than Eita was. Eita, I think, mentioned that he wasn't ready for Bonchet to come up. But Bonchet mentioned that he was ready for the mirror and mentioning that he was ready. Also, for Kid makes sense. I mean, we've seen him be ready for the mirror, as you talked about with EWC and on his streams. And also just ready for Ken overall. I feel like Akuma does well against Ken. We've talked about it a million times. Angry Bird complains about it for good reason. It's not just belly aching for nothing. So Bonchet was ready for that. Kazunoko says, I was surprised Jamie going to anchor. My image on Uryo was that he was really aggressive. We started playing, he was really calm and defensive. He says, again, I was surprised. But I feel like he got defensive at the very end, though. I feel like towards the end of the middle part of the game was when Uryo got way more defensive. That's because he started getting bodied, honestly. DPs weren't hitting. He wasn't able to engage in the neutral. He wasn't able to find the palms, get the knockdowns. He wasn't able to sip the sauce. He was not left to his devices because Kazunoko was smothering him. I think Kazunoko needs to also watch that back and say, listen, I was also doing these dive kicks. I was getting in continuously. I was chasing the back dashes with the crouching medium kicks. And when he tried to initiate, I would stuff and stop him with crouching medium kick and, stand fierce, all the things that Ken would like to do to stop drive rush or the dash ups or whatever it may be. He said he took the first time out. I guess I was really focused.
I don't know what he means by that. Not too sure.
Yeah.
But I also want to know what they were doing with the... I don't know what that is. I really don't know what they were doing. Maybe. I don't know. I would have loved to see them do like the fusion dance. Wait, it's this way?
Oh, yeah.
That would have been cool, but I don't know.
Oh, wait.
Close enough. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy Raccoon getting the first big W, and it truly is a big W. 40-0 against CAG Osaka. A big rebuttal in comparison to what we saw in week number 2 in Division F. So big congratulations to them. 170 points on the board for them now.
CAG Osaka, though, leaving with nothing in their hands. We mentioned how these players are playing for as many points as possible, and that means the other side is not getting anything in their pocket, which is detrimental. So, also, this is just a random note. At Capcom_esports, you can actually vote for the team that you think is going to win while Street Fighter League is playing. I think obviously that's gone on. If you're watching this stream, it's already done and dusted, so don't go there for the spoilers. But if you are watching this live somehow and you're watching the Japanese stream, you can actually vote for which team you think is going to reign supreme. And you can reign supreme out here at Street Fighter Duel. Hit that code and you can see all the new additions they have. The new cast, Street Fighter 6 is being added. I hope they add more characters, again, that are outside of Street Fighter. I'd like to see some of that Scary Terry run the streets of Duel.
Would that technically be a Street Fighter 6 collab?
I guess that would be the SNK collab, right?
Yeah, I think so. One of the things I'm looking forward to is possibly getting my hands on this vinyl when I would go, when I do plan to go back to Japan. I would love to get it just for artwork's sake, because it's kind of similar to the Super Turbo one. I think Ryu had the same type of pose that Ed did, with his fist kind of being cross-bodied towards the front. But more importantly, Akuma still staying in the background with his back facing you is super cool. This shirt I need. I don't care what anybody says. I want this shirt. I already have one of the jury shirts. The material is really great. It fits really well. And the print on it itself, like the actual graphic, pretty high quality. So I'm gonna try to collect all of them because these things sell out like crazy. I kid you not. I even went during the restock to the Capcom store in Shinjuku at the Parco department store. Sold out. So quick.
It's gone. Well, I'm gonna have to join you in grabbing some of these beautiful merch. They always have such good merch out there that I wish would come overseas. If we do get a chance to see if it comes on Amazon, we'll let you know. But we'll also let you know we have another match coming up. Yogibo Reject versus Varrel after this break. Go grab some stacks. Come right back. We'll return. More Street Fighter League action coming right at you. 洗練されたデザインは普段使いにも持ってこい。選手の名前を背負って街に繰り出しましょう。2つ目はディビジョン S とディビジョン F、それぞれのキービジュアルを使用したアクリルマルチスタンド。選手たちが渾身の決め顔であなたを見つめます。最後はオープニング映像を使用したクリアファイルセット。選手一人一人のアイデアが詰まったポーズの集合体は同僚やクラスメイトの気を引くこと間違いなし。すべてゲットしてあなたの生活をストリートファイターリーグで埋め尽くしましょう。こちらの商品はセブンネットショッピング限定販売となっております。数量限定となっておりますのでお早めにご購入お願いします。お知らせは以上です。さあこの後試合準備のため休憩に入らせていただきます。休憩の後マッチ2ヨギボーリジェクト対バレルの模様をお届けしてまいります。再開は20時12分頃を予定しております。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
yeah, come on. Everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss. I ain't never scared, never quitting is the motto. Yeah, come on. Everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss. Among us. Take it much farther. Fast with the hands, eat Honda. Defend my legacy with strength and honor. I'm the greatest ever. It's a showdown. This is my arena.
対戦相手のヒカルくんなんですけど、最近投げかけられた言葉が非常に胸に響きまして、アキラさん何歳になったらインパクトきついですかと言われました。ヒカルくんから僕は絶対に許さないんで絶対勝てます。
そんなことが。
それは許せないね。
許せなくないですか。
それは許せない。それは許せん。
3つあるヒカルとしての飛び道具は不用意には打ちづらい状態。
うまっ。オッケー、あっちでバーンアウトよ。
もう勝負どころ。状況はアキラ有利。ダッシュからバーンアウト。
おい。
ステップに。足元サイクカウンター。
はい、そっちリサル。
リサル。
オッケー。
カードこれは確定はないか。
うお。相手もバーン来てるよ。
抜けた。踏める。一本あるぞ。ゲージはあるぞ。アキラ打ち上げる。
まだか。
スピンドライブスマッシャーは非常に届いている。
練習したもの全部出た。完璧です。いやー、これ嬉しいね。これは嬉しい。
アキラさん、僕が信じてると言いましたね。僕だけですか？
いや、みんな信じてました。
アキラさん、僕は本当に信じていました。本当です。僕の対策どうですか、アキラさん？褒めてください。
これでした。ありがとうでした。おかげだよ、全部。
結構とはいえチュンリー側もその
どうまい？
ジャックの機構権を
これ食らっている。
先には中
あーごめん。
まあワンチャンあったな。全然。
どうしましょ
一回インターバル取っていい気がするな、とりあえず。
ほい。
うん。あと置き攻めがあんまり通ってないなっていう印象。だから最初のエアロリー食らってから結構やっぱ気にしちゃってるなっていう印象だね。受けてる時のジャスパーは結構今のところは少ない。ただこれから増えてくる可能性は全然ある。
重要なマッチアップ。ストレートも狙えるという。
はい。オーケ
う。いいね。
ー。はい、オッケー。うん。いいね。いいよ。
うますぎ
出させたね。出させました。
ナイス。僕めっちゃいいよ。
完璧だ。
はい。お、行くよねこれ。行くよね。
これは行きましたね。
行くよね。ナイス。よう勝ってくれた。
いやー、よかった。あざっす。いや。すげえ、向こうが緊張してたな、これ。
いや、そうだね。
うん。
よかった。
しかも結構噛み合わなくなってきて困ってたね。
怖い思いさせちゃったね。
いや、ほんとに。
大丈夫よ。
おかえり。
おかえり。
Yogibo reject, Varrel, that's our next match. My name is Seiko, I'm doing with Vicious. Let's get into this. Let's start off with introductions here for Yogibo reject. This team is ridiculous, and part of that's because the Golden Finger from Korea, Lashar, has come to play for Yogibo Reject with that ever-impressive Ed. In fact, one of the most impressive Eds, only behind Indy Walker, to be honest. The High Priest from above, blessing people with his fists that jump fierce. From Sim, it's Torimeshi, never on the ground for too long. That's going to be the lightning fast speed star himself, Akira, with that scammy cami and dooming scammy. By the way he plays, he is so aggressive. He is very hard to lock down. Last but definitely not least, going to be leading the charge, the FGC scout, aka the absolute GOAT, aka the genius himself, Tokido, on the Kin, but I've seen him kind of dabble with the Ed. We'll see what happens. We already know the order a little bit and what they're going to play soon, so maybe we won't see that. But we are going to see this team rise to the occasion. They're on the away side. And with the headband, he's for business right here, Vicious. He's for business.
I wonder if that's directed towards anybody specific, like Mago, perhaps? I mean, that was what it was like these last couple of seasons. I mean, in Street Fighter 6, in Street Fighter 5, but who knows? But speaking of which, we only talked about the captain. Let's get the full introduction of the rest of Team Varrel coming into it as the home squad for this week. A very impressive squad to see them too. They're currently in 5th place, however. Let's see if they can scrap up some points to get above and beyond. Starting with Daikoku, the unyielding rebel with the ever-impressive Guile. Man, I wish I could do that with my hair too, man. It looks great. But nonetheless, he's backed by the hero Sunrise. That is Moke, coming in with his very, very impressive Chun-Li as of late. Starting to put it all together. The man who has it all together, in my opinion, Mizuha, the Prince of the Rapids. I like the other name too, Rainmaker. I heard it in the background. Don't think I was slipping. Of course, 2D God, Mago as the captain. It makes a lot of sense, man. Now, Mago, he's been dabbling a lot with Terry, and by dabbling, I mean almost every stream he's been playing with his character. I really do wonder if he's gonna pull it out to challenge Tokido. Looking real creepy, just in time for Halloween as well.
On that scary Terry, we'll see if that even happens. You know, a lot of the players out in Japan have been rating that character kind of low, but I think if you're playing that much, you see something in them. But Yogibo Reject's going to blow up their characters first. It's going to be Kin, Cammy, and Ed. Definitely what you would expect, not only for like the character spread, but also Lashar just being such a strong competitor, especially the strongest on this team right now. It makes sense to see him in the anchor to kind of close things out or tie it up if need be. Tokido coming up with the Kin, Akira with that Cammy right behind him. Now, Tokido not on the Ed, after playing so much and getting legend with the character and kind of practicing, it's kind of wild to see. I thought he might switch over a little bit or maybe test the waters, but I guess he's going to stick out with the Kin for right now.
I wouldn't say it's too wild in my opinion. I mean, he's doing a great job thus far. He's already 5 for 6 in regards to his overall stats. I think he's done a great job with Ken. And as surprising as it is to see him play with Ed. Oh, my mistake. Sorry, 4 out of 6. My mistake. To see him like play the way that he's been playing thus far, I feel like it makes sense to play it safe with Ken. As for Mizuha stepping up to the plate, Tokido immediately took off the headband. That was so quick. But yeah, Mizuha coming up with the Cammy, it just makes a lot of sense too. I genuinely love the idea of watching this type of aggression coming in from Mizuha face off against someone as sturdy with the neutral ground space. Someone that's sturdy with the footsies department as well. Kind of being able to cheat over a lot of the normals that Ken can threaten you with is a pretty good idea.
Yeah, especially one that we don't see anti-air as often. I mean, Tokido can do it, but in terms of like the anti-air ratio, give that more to like Angry Bird or some of the other Kins as well. They're more adapt to like backdash and stay fierce or hit those DPs when need be. So someone that's going to get aerial with it like Mizuha will hit the dive kicks when need be. I think that's a fine choice. That does mean to me, I think Moke comes up next and then Daikoku for the end. I think Daikoku's shown a lot in terms of strategy and what he can do for switching up like his style. He can go for the aggressiveness or defensiveness, and I feel like he'd be ready for the Ed. But we'll get to that a little bit later on. Right now, we're getting the interview here from Tokido. As you mentioned, has had a pretty decent record out here with the Ken.
I would definitely assume Tokido. Well, here's what I'm going to say. is that Tokido was expecting Mago for the run back because he had taken the L the first time they encountered each other, hence why the whole headband theatrics. I would assume that's what the interview is going to consist of from the side of Tokido.
You don't have a headband for Mizuwa? That's crazy, Tokido. You should have one for everybody, but I guess it's a personal thing after getting bodied that hard by Mago. Tokido said, I really played this matchup, and after all the matchups, I think the kid has the advantage. I'll do my best. But why is it every time I talk to a Ken player, I get a different answer about this matchup? Some hate it, some love it. Remember, Shai was like, yeah, it's about even. And everyone's like, I think that Ken could do really well. Logan told me that it's in Cammy's favor, so maybe it's just a stylistic difference, right? I think the style of Cammy also dictates how the match is going to go, so Tokido, I think, maybe will be well-versed in this one.
I think both have like the necessary tools to be problematic. I think Ken's damage output is just significantly more against Cammy. I think there's a lot more of a threat coming in from Ken. I think one of the biggest outliers, or one of the biggest things that's significant in this matchup is what Cammy gets out after a successful escape. So one of the biggest things that people complain about against Ken is throw loops. Cammy just so happens to have two very good options against that exact tactic. One being far more riskier than the other. So OD uppercut is a great way to bust out, right? It allows you the side switch. The damage is pretty significant. That's going to be a way to blow up the throw. However, also having access to OD dive kicks make it that much harder to throw loop someone like him.
Reward off of that too as well. Possibly getting like corner carry or getting Oki off if you get like the counter hit is significant. So it's something that you're right. You have to watch out for if you're a Ken player. But as a Ken player, the reversal, you know, you see Xiaohai when he fought Punk using that same light kick quite a bit to kind of challenge and check the neutral. And that crouching medium punch as well. Ryukichi utilizing that, and it's utilized to full effect. The drive rush buffer right after. Ends it with the DP. That stand fierce off. He's the one said, I saw him take off the headband. Might not be the expected matchup, but I'll make him regret taking it off.
Did you see him confirm that fierce, by the way? He did heavy punch counter hit, confirmed it into a slightly, I want to say a slightly delayed light Tatsu. That was actually kind of OD.
Something behind every button. So it's Mizuwa with the buffer. Gonna go for the crosscut DP, doesn't want to risk it.
You can see the intention behind Tokido's crouching medium punches, right? He wants to try to catch a normal out of place from Mizuha. Not going to be it, though. Again, Mizuha placing that low medium kick to get himself out of harm's way, or at least away from the corner, I should say. And again, the counter hit. Catching Cammy crouching, too. It's so good to have that normal to convert into big damage, especially if they're crouching back with their own normal, right? We talked about Cammy having an impressive crouching medium punch or standing medium punch as a sword normal. And also standing jab to stop the drive rushes, but Tokido ending it out while Cammy was grounded was pretty good. Getting that back throw now, being able to command all of this pressure into the throw loops. Just one.
Dash up medium again. Here comes the crouching medium kick at the spiral arrow for the Oki. Caught him leaving with the crouch fierce. Dive kick. Oh, never mind, Tokido. You do know how to DP. My bad, bro. Ready with it. No counter combo right there. Off the crouching right in the medium. Dive kick does hit the limb. Nice and close for the meaty crouch fierce. Tokido not caught walking back with that crouching meaty kick from Cammy. There's a lot of bar at the bottom here for Mizuha to express. Got caught, bro. No reaction. Wow.
That's tough. Tough thing to try to contest. You saw Uryo try to do it with the wrong normal. Tokido also falling susceptible. Just no response at all, actually. Trying to knock on the door. Excellent tech against the tick throw attempt from Mizuha. Tokido not willing to do the uppercut even at that sharp angle. I understand it, man. Sometimes the shoulders have a hard time trying to DP. Oh, he didn't believe in his own crouching jab. He's trying to get a tick throw. He would have got a lot of a reward off of it if he actually landed it.
Yeah, really. You get a lot of reward off of this buffer, though. Crouch fierce into the heavy kick. Jinrai, the throw. What's the wake up position? Will it be wake up TK dive kick? No. Spin knuckle. Trying to leave the corner. Tokido with the fake out. He breaks, walks up. Nice and easy for the throw. Crouching kick caught him low. He realizes all the bar though for the drive gauge. Mizuha. This is looking real bad. He had to have blocked. Yeah, he knew it was gonna come through. He knew there was gonna be a wake-up super. What else are you gonna do? You were in burnout, and something Chipno did. That's gonna be the first game here.
Yeah, I don't even know if he had advantage off of that second dash, to be honest with you, because that was the anti-air. It looked as if it wasn't even going to be Tokido's turn regardless. So seeing that reversal timing from Mizuha, a little bit questionable. I think if he had delayed it even further, I think Tokido maybe would have bit into it, but either way, I think Tokido was going to be expecting something wild on wake up regardless. But right now, looking pretty good, pretty comfortable for Tokido.
He's able to have that comfortability because of crouching medium punch. Yes, dive kick will come through every so often, but the reward overall and the consistency in terms of landing that button into a drive rush conversion, into like run DP, even that can also be pretty good for Oki. Like I feel like that's been like the establishment tool, and that's maybe why he thinks Ken has the advantage. Like there doesn't seem to be too much that Mizuha is able to do or capable of like doing in the matchup right now on the ground, forcing him to take to the skies more continuously. So maybe that's why he feels like the matchup is pretty standard for Ken. Either way though, we'll see what Mizuha does to kind of route things back. We know Mizuha is more of an aggressive player. We'll see what he does in terms of maybe delaying a little bit on the OD DPs. Maybe he does wake up with the OD dive kick. I don't think we've seen that option thus far against some of the throw loops. That might even be good mid-screen, not just in the corner, not when he's just throw looping in the corner. It might be a good thing to kind of throw out there just so you know that it's around. Like that is another defensive option I will utilize that you have to wake up and worry about. So it may push Tokido back a little bit so he doesn't get to just kind of run you over.
A little bit of a timeout coming in. Mizuha trying to live up to his word by saying he's going to make Tokido regret taking off the headband. As it stands right now, Tokido having the significant lead. And I will say in terms of like the mental game, I don't even know. Mizuha has been taking his time trying to reassess with his teammates. I wish we could get that insight in regards to like all the players like talking amongst each other, but I know that's a heavy ask. It's not a serious request production, so don't worry about that. But I personally want to see what Mizuha can do against Tokido, who's been playing a little bit reactionary. One of the biggest things that I did kind of catch was Tokido's reluctancy to anti-air with an uppercut or a normal at certain jump ranges. We've seen that be a topic of discussion over on Twitter, how often, or I guess how inconsistent it can be for Shotos to try to cross-cut DP, because sometimes you'll still get the wrong inputs at sharper angles. So maybe Mizuha could utilize that even further. Possibly get some really ambiguous dive kicks right above like Ken's head. But if it's blocked, it is highly punishable. Taking his turn away.
That's true.
Here's Mizuha.
The crouch minikit drive rush drive impact against the Jinrai. Gets the side switch off. Ooh, and the slight walk up throw. The back though actually repositioning here. Looking for the toe tap. Interrupt the spiral arrow. Reactionary. ODDP. Neither wants to hold anything on the ground. Tokido walking back, get that bar back. Lancey over the go ride kick. Trade still in favor of Tokido. He's got the lead. Buffering that medium. Top kick hits the crouching medium punch.
Spaced.
There we go.
Super smart too, right? Tokido's been utilizing that crouching medium punch a bunch of times over to counter what's on the ground. Knocking 2 times with light creates that perfect angle for Mizuha to punish that exact normal.
Super no cutscene. So quite a bit of damage right here. Yo, the triple DP, the triple.
Or is it Jim Jones? Triple.
Plus frame 6 in the crouching light kick. Cross-cut DP? No, I like that. If you don't feel like it's gonna work, as you mentioned, the back throw, little button, dive kick in at the perfect range. Oh, hitting good punches this time.
That is so smart. He's revolving his strategy around that counter poke normal. No way. No way, got him mid-air. Fireball with a trap. No, it's gonna be drive rush all the way through from Tokido. Catches down below. It was a counter hit, a little bit of a delay from Mizuha. Makes him pay for it dearly. Tokido back into the next round.
To that point, but you see the secret. Success right here for Mizuha. Dealing with that crouching medium punch. Nice little lead right here with the level 3. Has him up in the corner, and then we're about to see the jab and the dive kick scenario, or maybe walk up, maybe bait out other moves that might come through, like a crouching medium kick. Knock in the door, spiral arrow for the Oki, frame kill for the throw right after. It's Mizuha's game to win. Plus, ooh, if he would have caught the walk back, that would have been over.
I think Mizuha just got caught trying to jump perhaps. Actually, I didn't get to see if it was a counter hit or not, but either way, Takedo busts himself out of the corner. Pretty significant. I like that idea! With the defense from Takedo, I like it much more. Now in Burnout, Mizuha could potentially see a chip out death, but he does have a level 1 intact. Good block on the goal ride, but the chip is there. Super damage on that. The chip is too much for Mizuha to handle.
Fortunate, like you saw him finally land the game plan. He was like, okay, I'll jab, as you mentioned, back walk, go for the dive kick, the clip, either a crouching medium punch, more often it was that button, or crouching medium kick, whatever it was going to be. He had a strategy up in the corner. Even mid-screen, he was going for that dive kick, got for the crouching medium punch for the timings that Takedo was presenting. Unfortunately, it was not enough. Takedo just able to take advantage of that burnout at the very end and get the win. I wonder what would have happened if he had recognized what to do against that button earlier. If he was like, okay, this is the intention of Takedo and what he's doing in the neutral. What would have happened? Who had a final game? Maybe, possibly, but still Takedo has found the best button. And I guess I understand why he thinks our kid has the advantage in this matchup.
Yeah, that was just so smart.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it too. That level 1 connecting against Mizuha was everything to set him up like that way. Like, I'm pretty sure Mizuha had meter to himself prior. I think there were 2 instances where he could have busted out with the level 1, right? He could have done it upon wake up, and I think he could have done it in between the first set of Jinrai that leads into the axe kick. I think there's a significant gap to bust out with a super, no?
But if that's the case, like guys without maybe there was a lockout because we saw Angry Bird try to go for that, but he went for the wrong super. Made a mistake over at the ECT. When I talked to him over before, he was like, if there's nothing they can do, like you just run that and then you hit the chip afterwards with the Super Jinrai, better option. Either way, I have to look back at the replay. But we have Moke stepping up, which makes sense. Again, I think this is a better option than having Chun-Li go up against Ed. I just watched that last night when it was Christy CH against Zach Boz. It definitely looked like it was Ed's favor. So yeah, put the Chun-Li up now and save the Gao for the very end. Moke going up against Akira, the speed star. I think Moke could definitely do this in terms of keeping up with someone that plays at this sort of pacing. He's a very aggressive Chun-Li player, willing to go into burnout and keep that lead. And he's very good at being able to get the anti-airs off, which she has still a good time of doing. She got the Tencho kicks. You walk forward and just tap the down with those kicks right after. Then you also have the heavy kick and the Stampede kick to anti-air. If you're in the proper range, she gets the dive kicks. But on the ground, I think Cammy does well. Spin knuckle gets the fireballs. Stampede kick to check and challenge her, stand fierce and stuff. So it's about even, I think. But we'll see how it happens. Akira in good spirits, which is always good to see. He's a very emotional player that wears his emotions on his sleeve. So always love seeing him. And get his interview real quick here. What do you think about the matchup overall, though? We don't get to see this too often. Not that many Chun-Li players exist.
I feel like the fireball game could be a little bit problematic for Cammy unless the Rashid players actually no, it's Moke. I keep thinking Rashid. Don't worry about that. I didn't say a thing. Chun-Li versus Cammy, I feel like is kind of problematic. I think Chun-Li has a pretty hard time against Cammy. I think Cammy can do a bunch to kind of stop the normals that Chun-Li wants to poke with. I think Cammy has great counter poking tools to stop some of the same exact sword normals that Chun-Li has. Chun-Li not having a throw loop is a pretty significant deal to kind of like really throw her off her game. I think a lot of Chun-Li players would often go for maybe like tick throw, often go for setting medium punch for a meaty. What is Moke doing? Sorry, he was just staring into the camera. He was staring into our souls.
You good, bro?
But I think Cammy could do a great job of breaking the neutral strategies that Chun-Li wants to do, right? I think she does a great job of getting around some of the normals that she wants to poke with a lot of the time, either on the ground or in the air.
So Akira says, against Varrel, I had a really bad feeling from last night. Tokido won. Hoping that feeling is just a feeling. Hoping it's not a premonition, his demise. Okay, we get his interview. He says, I really have fun in the league. Lashar is really strong. I want to have fun in this game too. So he wants to get that victory, carry his team success. Level 40 bomber. See if Moki can keep up with light and speed star himself. Love that fit, the Morgan outfit. Just in time for Halloween. Oh, as you mentioned, the whip punishes there against a sort of normal. Can he ever equip to do so? Baits out the ODDP. That punish incoming, that drive gauge not looking so good.
The lift upper for the rest of it. Ending it in the uppercut, but perfect for Akira. The offense is just too much for Moki right now.
This was a button check.
Definitely felt that way. Yeah, again, Cammy also having similar range to this Chun-Li, right? Her low medium kick is great to counter poke with, or to whiff punish with, excuse me. Crouching medium punch is great to counter poke with. Roundhouse is such an excellent tool to chip away at your opponent's drive gauge as well. Very, very similar ranges that are going to be played out. Oh.
As mentioned, the crouching mid kick, getting caught with the dive kick. Lightning speed star, rushing him down, even though like using quite a bit of bar to do so. Worked out the full effect. Oh, he backdash, found the spin knuckle. He's in. Everybody is getting hit with the overhead off the hooligan. He getting in with that level 3. That's the victory. Are you kidding me? Everybody is getting blessed.
You were not kidding when you were talking about spooky season. Just in time for spooky season, that was a jump scare and a half. It's gotten everybody this week in Division F. Nobody is safe. Nobody's heads are safe from the axe.
Coming to a theater near you. Akira on game point. There's a drive rush. Not significant confirmed to anything big. No anti right there. I'm okay. Some cage stuff. Lay the fireball. Moki make something of this. Crouching mid kick gets a pickup here. No throw loop, so Akira feels fine to tech.
God, I'm loving the normals from both, but I was gonna say Moki is really trying to make it work above and beyond with the fireball, right? Being able to outrange Cammy in that regard with that. Oh, that was kind of tricky from both ends, really. There's the bust out.
MVP. Back in again. Made him tap parry. Oh, now it's getting scary. It's a one-touch scenario. OD lets it rip and gets the charge up too as well. Akira. He just has these moments of like burst where he just dumps out the damage. He'll wait a little bit, wait for like a crouching medium kick where he can read it. He's sort of normal. Drive rushes in for the light. Punish counter caught. It looked like a 4 medium punch. Here we go, level 2 for the pickup. Stays in front, delays it for a little bit. Throw right after it. What?
Good call out. That was a counter hit. That wasn't a punish. That was indeed a counter hit. Serenity stance from Moki. Tried to press the button right afterwards. Checking with the lights as well. Akira was treading very, very carefully.
Fireball, well to lock this character up with the corner. Toss him right back up in there. 10 medium for the bus frames. Throw right after. Waits for the dive kick. The super. I don't thought. Oh, never mind. I gave Moki quite a bit of credit here. I was like, he's blocking. He's not dropping. Akira,
yeah, that was
you absolute scammy cammy. Scammy. We just got here. Wait, it's done? Hold
That's
on.
it. That was it. There's no sequel. That was the sequel. the Trinity might be coming back. Maybe we'll see the true end of it maybe in playoffs. But right now, that's it. No ending credits, nothing. Moke, in his, to be honest with you, in his credit, that dive kick was screaming out, I'm giving up my turn. Any normal, sane professional would have taken their turn. Well, that's the problem with the speed stuff. He's playing at speed levels that you cannot even fathom. He's playing at the speed of light. You can't even see the next move. This man truly is the Flash. I'm telling you, man. This guy's also kind of nutty. Let's take a look again, right? Any normal person would have been like, it's my turn to press a button. You told me it was my turn. He was yelling at Shannon Sharp. You told me it was my turn.
You ever saw Moki being like, yo, like, empty-faced? I'd be so tight. You get a DM from me after that one. That's 20 points for Yogibo reject. Akira just hard.
I would immediately go to Twitter.
Yeah.
I would immediately complain on Twitter.
At FBI. Like, let's go.
Whoever's in charge of putting people behind bars in Japan, you gotta make sure to like tag them as well.
Alright, so Daikoku. Wait, what? But Daikoku was revving up. He was even doing a stance. He even had a new hairstyle. You can pull up Daikoku?
Nah, man. It's gonna be the captain trying to get a piece of the Korean golden finger. Lashar, who has been absolutely dominant, man. Funny enough, he only has... he has a very, very clean record. He has a very, very strong record. But he's only second to Hikaru. Funny enough. Apparently, this is on the website. I haven't done the calculations fully myself. But as it stands right now, Lashar is 5 out of 6. Dear God Almighty.
Damn.
This can't be right. This can't be right. Hold on. Let me double check again.
5 out of 6.
Okay, so it is mixed up. So I think Hikaru has more points than the Shark, question mark. At least that's what it says on the website. But if we want to talk about the recent performance from the Shark, or at least the performance that they had against Varrel, he's the one that took out Mizuha before. But yeah, he's definitely got 5 out of 6. The only person he's lost to is he lost to Hikaru in the league.
That was his first match. Yeah. That's it. But other than that, it's just been straight sailing all the way through. And last time we saw him fight Mizuha, he's one of those cats that was so locked in the match, and how well that he did, he made me rethink the whole matchup. Usually, it's Cammy that is able to run over the likes of Ed, but he had practiced that so much, it made it look like it was a 6-4 for Ed. So he is just always prepped and prepared. He also just came from Singapore, and there were tons of juries out there. Mago, you really want to go up against this cat? You really want to go up against someone who's been playing Nephew and a few other trading players that do exist? Like, you want this smoke? I'm very odded out by Mago going up. I'm very... But, you know, I will give Mago credit. I feel like there's some matches where are not so good for jury that he has won throughout the league, and just like Street Fighter 5 and 6. Like, it's more of like a Mago thing. He's just able to adapt, so maybe he'll be able to prove me a liar, but on paper though, it's looking bleak.
I want to see Mago do that, actually. I think him stepping up to the challenge is very much so something that is expected of Mago as the captain. Not even just from the captain positioning, but just how Mago is as a person stepping up to the challenge in general. I want to see a different outlook on the matchup off of the way that Mago is going to play it, to be honest with you. I'm very excited about it. But in regards to the tools that Jury has, what do you think kind of makes her stand out in this matchup that would actually give her the benefit against someone like Ed?
There's not much. There's not much that doesn't come with risk. You know, you have the dive kick against like the fireballs, against like Flicker, which would help out. The fireballs that you can also present yourself as Jury can help to kind of lock him down for a little bit. You have to dash up and drive rush right after, because he can kind of do the 4 fierce Cobra Strike over that. So you kind of have to initiate and make the right reads to make the magic happen. He initiates right off the rip, the drive rush medium starter, but doesn't get too much off of it. Lashar with the follow-up off the crouching medium punch. There are things that she can do, it's just going to be difficult for her to be consistent with it. First of 3,
yeah,
we'll see. Oh, the flicker's so painful to deal with.
Yeah, that's exactly it. The flickers are just so problematic for Mago, just threatening that space constantly. Oh, I swear, if Lashar was gonna make a massive pickup, I would have left.
Yeah, easy for him to get punishes off the Flodgen if it's not spaced out. And that's gonna be the end either way. Lashar even said, he's like, I don't even know why Mago's playing against me, but I like him. Let's have a good game. Combo level 1, that wall pin situation. Nice and close up in the corner, we can really enact what Jory's good about. Sticky with the stand medium, the stand fierce as well with the buffer, the fireball. Oh, I thought this is able to get the target combo.
And look at that, even while Mago has kept Lashar in the corner, he spent so much drive to get there. Oh, that's a huge punish.
Combo level 1 again. There we go. Saves the bar again. Smith for that level 1 instead of waiting for level 3. Evening things out, but I agree if that not been an ODDP, we might have seen like a punish counter off a flicker into Lashar leading himself out the corner. Dive kick, and we talked about the risk. Here's a reward for the Lashar side. It'll land at level 2.
Oh, that was sick! What? That was cool. A little bit of a flicker variation on the 2-bounce desync.
Yeah.
That was kind of tight. I wonder how much more or less damage that does. I couldn't tell you.
Like the intention is to like get that corner push or something. I'm not sure either. I'll have to ask him later.
I think perhaps, yeah. Either way, you're gonna get the corner push because that's just how the desync is gonna perform, right? I think that's the whole intention of it. Oh, you thought. Hey, you know, as expensive as this is, I don't think it worries Lashar too much.
Nice jump back. He's got the bar at the bottom. You're absolutely right. Well, drive rush conversion to OD fist. Need another level 2 scenario. Anti-air is there. Holds the flicker. Fireball. Drive rush dash up the crouching medium punch. The stand fierce stagger. It's up the throw. Drive rush. Fireball. Overhead. L parry the walk back, but did not commit to anything right after.
Beautiful punish. Beautiful punish from the side of Mago after that. Lashar not fully committing to the bit, as you had mentioned. Falling short in game 1.
Like that walk up stand medium for the plus frames. We're setting up that parry. So we tap parries though. Lashar starting to catch on, getting the throw. The corner. Difficult to deal with when you're fighting likes ahead. The flicker, he's got the anti-airs on point. Lashar trying to back off to reassess, but gets hit with the foot to face. The stand fierce starter.
Excellent throw tech, excuse me, just for Mago to kind of reassess, but back into the throw game as well. Lashar netting that one. Ugh, kind of rough. Mago in anticipation of some sort of normal puts himself into burnout, attempting for that, or going for the perfect parry attempt, excuse me.
With the DP, drive rush, trying to go for the throw. The ODDP is there finally. Down for reversal here for Lashar. Hit confirm into level 2. Flicker, cycle blitz, continue the pressure. Too far for the throw to hit. OD. Pure lockdown. Now Mago with burnout. You see him juking downward to not get blessed with the crouching medium kick. Like a hit with like a level 3 at all.
Yeah, nice and easy.
This guy was sharp.
He's powerful, man. His aura is just way too powerful. The way that he presents himself in neutral, easily one of the more active Eds that we could ever ask for. It's so difficult right now. We had to take that little bit of a break from Mago to kind of figure out what the strategy is against someone like Lashar, man. It's so crazy to watch someone like Lashar on a consistent basis because I feel like he's bodying everybody, right? Like he's consistently bodying everybody. It's so wild to see somebody this consistent in like such a stacked and powerhouse kind of like league, right?
Yeah, first entrance to the league, not panicking, in the anchor position, has been doing absolute work every time we see him besides one loss out here. He's been strong even outside of the league. We've seen him also cook up at the offline tournaments. And I think you see the adjustments happen immediately. Okay, I lost that first game. I'm letting Mago get too close. He's running that stand fierce continuously. Let me just back up so I can reassess. So he can't even go for the idea of a dive kick or a jump kick, so I'll just anti-air easily. And if he whiffs a Fuhajin stock up or a stand fierce, I get an easy punish. Like you see him realigning and readjusting himself outside the distance where it's still the proper range for Ed, but not so good for Jury. Where now Mago has to like, oh, I've thought a fireball and drive rush. Well, he's ready to punish that. He'll go for maybe a forward fierce or easy interruption off any of these buttons, like say a medium kick or whatever it may be. He's at the proper distance where it's hard for Jury to enter without risk, and that's kind of the story of the tape right now. A lot of risk for Jury in not being able to find the reward has been the name of the game right now. More reward on the side of Lashar. Even when Mago's winning, he's having to go for these ODDPs. It's some drops here from Lashar. It's things given to him, and again, I don't know why Mago came up. He did say he trained for this, but for someone so clean and pristine like Lashar, like it's hard, man. You can't even jump in on this cat.
I think it's fair. I think it's understandable if Mago wants to come up specifically for this matchup. I personally wonder if he will bust out the Terry for Ed. I really do. I don't like. Listen, call me crazy, but I just want to see Mago's level of Terry face off against Ed. That's all. Like you never know, right? You won't know until you really see it whether or not he's gonna be the one to break the mold specifically against Ed. Also similar with Jury in regards to just the fireball game, but his range could be a little bit problematic. I can see it. Who knows? Maybe like a 3/4 screen burn knuckle to close the gap and get plus frames. Who knows? To counter against like the flickers, perhaps. I don't know. Anyways, it is gonna be the Jury still coming in for Mago.
See that? The slight walk back. Damn, medium kick against the crouching medium kick of Mago. Proper ranges. The right punishes. Fake out with the fireball. Yeah, this is looking all Lashar right now.
Oh. Forward fierce. Clips out a button from Lashar. That was a reversal. OD uppercut. Gets a punish against Mago. Dashing through.
No, too far
Try to
out.
throw out a normal a little bit early. That was a sick counterpull from Mago.
Yeah, he's in that crushing medium punch. Stop sign. Driver's throw. Too much pensiveness. DP's the dive kick. We'll get the pickup level 2 right after it. Pull him close in the round with a psycho blitz. You gotta be kidding me. DP in the level 2. There's a proper one. Nice and close to get the pickup.
That was disgusting. Chain combo?
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Off of the forward medium. What a counterpunch to the corrupt. Yes, sir. Escaping the throws. Jump medium punch instantly. Perfect parry. No! Not gonna get Jury in that regard. That's it. Her fierce is so far reaching that she doesn't really, or she didn't really land in time for Lashar to get a grab.
Take that out of the equation. Nice bust out right there. Really intention of Lashar to continue this pressure. Stand fierce buffer, OD fireball, DP, pinwheel. Backdash is there for no punish. Right, the Mago. September Mago, October Mago. The spooky Mago right now working out with the corner. Lashar hasn't been able to find his way out just yet. There's bar at the bottom. Mago wants to spin right now. Get a lead or close things out depending on what he uses. But now he's in the corner.
He threaded the needle, crouching jab! As long as he doesn't drop, which he definitely will not. Level 3, damn! Mago looking a little bit scary too. He was fishing with that standing heavy punch a bunch and also forward heavy punch. The fact that Lashar landed that initial punish counter made me think that Mago was going to be in deep trouble. But the big rebuttal, threading the needle once again with the crouching jab in between, really is his saving grace. That was a beautiful way to counter poke.
I thought it was over when he went in the corner, to be honest. I was like, this is like a classic tale. I got put in the corner, it's called a corner, it's over. Like, you know, at that point, Lashar would just run the flicker pressure, mix it up with the normals and things like that, and the fireballs, and clean up. But I really like the fact that Mago's reading the pensiveness of Lashar up in the corner. You don't see the counter pokes as often. You know, you do see them every so often with the dash up throws. We'll challenge that. Dash up medium punch, the fireballs. That's where Jury can really shine. Those risky moments don't have to be as risky. You can kind of run your pressure in a different way where your buttons aren't whiffing. You're able to kind of throw the needle a little bit more. And in that sequence we saw before with the counter, the light and the medium, counter it right there, him being able to throw the needle is like just a high level 2D God sort of thing right there. In the most stressful moments where you might get bodied, able to throw the needle and make the most of that, it's the Mago thing. So hey, Mago, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk on your name like that. You are the 2D God for a reason. You already have 2 games now, so you could be the one to take down Lashar and give us a final game. Let's see if that happens though.
Now you gotta follow suit with Dogura, man. You gotta write out a formal apology to Mago. Don't test this man's name. St. Cola, do not test this man's name. Mago is making it work out in the matchup with Jory. But I mean, in all fairness, all memes aside, I also was in the same camp as you. I think Jory has a pretty tough time in this matchup. In terms of the international experience and exposure, I think Lashar has a slight upper hand against Mago. I don't even think it's slight. I think he has a pretty good upper hand against Mago in regards to the amount of events that they both have traveled to. But Mago has been around since forever and a day in regards to fighting games. And he's not even just a single type of fighting game player, right? He's been exposed to so many different strategies over time. So him being able to take the time and assess against Lashar is truly the prowess of one of the main figurehead of the FGC, of Street Fighter, right? The 2D God. He earned that namesake for a reason.
The keeper against these young upstarts. It's on final game. Gonna force that first to death. Nice interruption, drive rush right after, staying fierce. And then with the BP, walk up throw, strolling on in. You can drive rush and punish that. Before fierce or something like that, I'm not sure. Either way, back throw.
You know, that is such a smart tool. Now that I'm thinking about it and the way that Mago's been landing these, forward heavy punch has been a great way to stuff out Lashar's kind of like early counter poke attempts, right? He's looking to get a lot of these whiff punishes, but his normals are not going to be coming out as fast as the second part of the forward fierce. It's kind of similar to Ryu's solar plexus. It catches a lot of people off guard in that same style, but not for long.
Be more than that though. I think you're right. Like that's a good tool I think for this matchup, but need more to put everything together. Especially like the mid screen, it feels. Drop rush medium starter though. See the counter hit. Thread the needle against the move, or the normals I should say, of Lashar. Drive rush medium with the throw, the tech though. Lashar packing in health. Anti-air is there. He waits for a little bit, looking for that bust out.
My God! Oh no! He dropped. What?
When do you see Lashar drop like that? Mago now using level 2 to be honest. Oh, the backdash is clutch. Cycle blitz. Deep with the jump fierce. Delays the crashing meter punch just enough to get the counter hit, and that's it. Lashar bringing it back from the brink.
Dude, that combo was nasty. Did you see how much damage that did initially without the level 3 from the side of Lashar? And then right after, Mago styles it out with an air combo that allows him to drive rush forward to get the pickup with the level 2. This has been the game of all games, really, in my opinion. This has been the most electric between the two. This might just be the highlight for, like, game of the season, in my opinion, for Division F.
We'll see how it all goes out, but I kind of have to agree with you. The switch up in terms of like their pacing, their aggression, running the needle on both sides, fantastic. However, Mago's on the back foot right now. Might become the victor of this. Level 1 behind him. 3-piece on the counter, hit the medium. Crushing medium kick. Okay. ODDP again in play. He's gonna die for it, so not the worst decision. Would have been in burnout had he got hit with the punish counter though.
Oh, that was so sick. Man, Lashar still being able to cover his tracks with the right fireball after a perfect parried one. Throwing out the light again, this guy is so calculated.
One for the dash up the row. Nice and close. For it again, the tech is there. This is where Lashar's been faltering, right? You've seen some backdash, some clutch moments, but Mago has been able to make the magic happen up in the corner with this character. Stand medium, staggering it, and he gets the counter right after. Talk about these staggers and working out. ODDP, another bust out. This one he would have definitely died for.
Uh-oh. Hella damage incoming, but more damage to the drive gate. He could do a variation that could maybe drain out. No. And he still gets the fierce. That was raw against Mago. Can he solidify it? Level 2. Is he gonna kill?
No, the drop, and Mago wakes up with level 1 instead.
No, that was a frame kill, man. That was 100% a frame kill. He's done that a bunch of times over. He tried to press a button immediately afterwards. Mago, realizing he's seen that setup before, not gonna work on him. The level 1, stealing it right from underneath Lashar.
My mistake. No staying in the game, but for how much longer? Let's see what he does with the bar at the bottom. Maybe level 2. That corner push, but right now, push right back. East side of the screen. Trade. Then medium kick. Try to walk in. The stand fierce is there. No back throw for you. Immediate break from Lashar. What a risky jump. It's in the range. The anti-air able to get the punish counter either way on the whip, and that's going to be it. Lashar taking it 40 points of totality for his team.
And not by any easy means. That was a ridiculous game towards the end of it. Even Lashar, he's like, he's in disbelief as well. But in a 2 out of 3 set, Mago would have put Lashar in losers. In any CPT, dude, look, oh my god, look at the emotion on both. Look at the emotion on both. How much was on the line for both, dude? That's so crazy. The emotion on both ends is so tangible that it's affecting me. Like that's how crazy and so heavy it is right now.
See in the match too as well, the alterations of all the different like tactics you see, like drive rush overhead and things like that, the switch up in terms of like the fireball pressure, the dive kicks, sometimes take up the table, like the empty jumps too as well with Side of Jury from Mago. And then in the reverse, you see the switch ups in defense from Lashar to reestablish himself. The backdash was super clutch we saw previously, and how he's utilizing the level 1 after he got the anti-air. That was super sick. It's just such a good back and forth. And my mistake on the frame kill, Lashar able to run that and even stay solid, even though Mago had rang the level 1 right there at the very end and switched to the final game fun around right there. Still one of the best sets we have seen at Street Fighter League thus far, even though it went down to the way that we thought, not in the way that we thought in terms of how the match went, but the result. Well fought, Mago. I don't think you should be fully upset. Yeah, maybe your team leaves with no points at all, but it was just by pixels. By small interactions.
Oh, but it was so much. That would have been so much for them too. Had they taken the W and then perhaps letting it rock again in the sudden death, 150 points would have been so welcome for that Varrel count. to get themselves into the next week. But
気温が
man,
上がるぐらいちょっと暑くなったんですけども、
in terms of like the individual aspect of it, Mago just almost having it against one of the hottest players right now, not even just Japan, but in the world, right? Lashar is revered as, I want to say top two Ed players in the world. Like, either under, tied, over Ending Walker. Like, that is difficult. That is such a tall order. But Mago almost did it, right? Mago being able to utilize every tool from Jury that he could and exposing, I think one of the biggest things that we could have experienced, that we could take away as players, as fans, commentators, etc., or even casual fans, is seeing Lashar getting some of his tactics exposed. Seeing the adaptability from Mago, letting it be known that these types of short-term adaptations are very much so possible.
I think it's imperative when you're watching these like players dominate the league or like dominate the circuits and stuff, to see the breaks, the cracks, will definitely help out in terms of like morale, even for the team not taking the victory. You know, the points would have been very much wanted, but I think you're right. I think like it's good to see like the corner defense. Like he was very pensive there, looking for like reversal buttons every so often, but very pensive in terms of striking back. He'd go for ODDP as like his aggressive choice, but overall you see him take a lot of throws and things like that. Something to read later on. But to the winning team though, Tormeshi says, I had a lot of disadvantaged characters, so I was in the reserve. I was really excited for Akira and Lashar's gameplay. I'm really hot right now, so hopefully that means he gets to play in the upcoming matches. Tokido says, the practice really worked out. I didn't like this matchup, but thanks to all the Kami players, I was able to win here. Definitely saw whatever he was practicing with crouching medium punch and the strategy he had around that work out continuously. That was the big, I feel like, star of that match overall, was that button. The buffers behind it, the drivers behind it, stopping Kami from just running over you with her usual drive rush jab and usual dive kick pressure, which did happen sometimes, but not often enough for him to stop it. I think it was really good. I think maybe it's still not advanced Kin, but it definitely looks like it's a lot more even than some think.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what like the numbers would be in regards to the matchups. I personally think that Ken does have a slight advantage, but at the end of the day, there's going to be a player that proves otherwise on some other like CPT platform, some other SFL platform perhaps. And it is different. I assume it's different like region to region. There's going to be players that feel a certain way about it, right? That's always going to be the case, which is the beauty of it. I think that's the most beautiful part of the conversation, whether it's a meme or not, whether people kind of get like too serious about it. I think having that open conversation about tier lists and characters is a necessity.
Healthy. Talk about these characters and what they can and can't do. Akira says that he was not so confident today, but Lashar gave him some advice and was able to win because of it. Lashar tells me to play really simple, kind of pare it down. It's crazy because I feel like Justin Wong has had some very similar advice. He's like, just pare things down to what's strong and what works, and then players will play 10 times better. And it's worked out for him when we see his playstyle, but that's also Justin Wong. But still, good advice that Lashar is actually giving advice to his entire team and not just being there along for the ride. He's actually integrated well into the team and giving them advice too as well.
いやー、やっぱ最近ジュリー近いがちょっと少ないだから困りました。
I'm also mind blown at how fast Lashar's picked up Japanese. Just as impressed as I am like with the way he's been performing overall with Ed, this guy's he's talented. Trilingual, Japanese, Korean, and English. Was even saying Noah the Prodigy is my son. Was that the video? I think that was that Noah in there actually in the video? I actually can't recall. It was Noah, right?
It was Noah. It was Noah.
Okay.
He said, yeah, Noah's my son. And Noah posted it.
Noah is my son. What a beast. I love that.
Such a funny. Lashar's a funny dude too as well. He's a very easy person to talk to. And you mentioned him like being quick in terms of picking up, you know, not only language, but also just through character. We've seen that previously when he picked up Chun-Li. I'm sorry, Luke. It was Chun-Li, Luke, and then now Ed. He's been able to like pick up characters with the quickness to understand their game plan and apply his own sort of style to those characters as well. That clean style, that clean and pristine style, and make them very, very effective. He said, I wasn't able to play with Jury recently, and I wasn't in the best shape during Singapore. The condition is still not in the best, but I was great, and I was able to win. Which is wild because I thought he would actually play some sets with like Nephew and some of the other Jury players that might be lingering around that area. I'm so shocked that he didn't actually run some sets while he was out there, but sometimes you can't run against sets. It's everybody, I guess. But hey, we're still ready. Perhaps to prepare for Mago was able to adjust as the match went on. They all have the Midas touch. Yes.
Yeah. They did the Yogibo reject cheer towards the end, holding their finger up, holding the #1 in the air. The first team to break the 200-point barrier, by the way. 205 points. Yogibo reject. Kokujin must be very, very proud right now. I hope he's watching along. I didn't get to see if Kokujin was streaming or not, but either way, very, very impressive to see this Yogibo reject team really put it all together, both in-game and also in regards to like the overall morale of the team and the overall relationships being built with the teammates, right? So beautiful thing to see. I'm enjoying myself watching Yogibo reject. I'm also enjoying myself watching Varrel. Despite the outcome, I think they did very well for themselves. They should hold their heads up high, because that is a very, very tall ask, right? Being in 5th place, fighting against #1 spot, very, very difficult. But that's two sets of 40 bangers in a row. First it was Crazy Raccoon, then it was Yogibo reject. All that's left is our marquee matchup of the week here in Division F. This is week #7. Just to remind you folks at home, there's only 3 weeks left of play in regulation to make it into the playoffs for these remaining 6 teams. It's going to be Hiroshima Team Iguza versus Belc Fau Gaming.
These beautiful controllers. Listen, I'm a fan of leverless. Do I have it with me? Do I have it?
He's got it.
I am also a fan of the leverless. I have the Odin one around here, but whatever. I got a million of these. I'd like to get one more. It'd be nice to add this to my shelf. They look fantastic. Were they at the Singapore event? I wonder if they'll be at the premiere event this next weekend, I should say. I don't know time, but I wonder if it's going to be available for sale next weekend.
Perhaps. I have definitely seen this in the SFL Japan studio. I did manage to kind of like press a couple of the buttons, but I never got to actually like play it. But it feels very comfortable for what it is. When we talk about like the current quality, the current dimensions of some of these hitboxes, right? Being able to play comfortably is the most important thing. So, very impressed with Varrel being able to provide a big sponsorship for Street Fighter League as well. I know they're going to pull it out. Yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
That pink is godlike. I'd actually go for the pink. Can't lie. That is fresh. I'd like to try the exact. So hopefully, we get them on sale in like in the US or something like that, or maybe they have some worldwide we can buy from. So those buttons do look good. And extra buttons at the bottom, possibly for like drive impact.
Having 2 extra buttons along with the jump button is a pretty big deal. It comes with a case.
Get a case?
That's cool. Please don't drop it. Frida. Please. Oh, he almost did it! Frida, please. Thank God you did it. My guy. But I like it. Yeah, being able to travel in style with one of those bad boys. Oh boy, please God. Somebody help him. Somebody production help my guy.
Too many things going on. It'd be like that. It'd be like that. I definitely understand. Oh, those are amazing. Definitely very slick. If they have them available, I'd like to get one of these and add them to my collection. But again, it's what you want to play on. Whatever's comfortable, right? Like if you want to play on leverless or controller, definitely try these out. If you see someone at your local that have leverless, try it out. Yo, what is this artwork? This is godlike too.
Dude, like if that's a mouse pad, I need that 1000%. That is, if that's Jury also, which I'm sure it is, that is a crazy outfit. I would love that to be a playmat. Listen, Capcom, you let me know right now. If it is, I'm buying that. If it's not, making one. That's all I can say. All right, before I digress, match number 3 is going to be underway right after this. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Street Fighter League Japan.
再開時間が21時22分頃、10分後ですね。こちらを予定しております。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
つい時やからこそ楽しんで頑張って勝っていい空気にしたいと思います。頑張ります。
投げもう受け入れられないぞ。アシュラ、これは間に合っている。マッチポイントは一気にクレジラ君のシュート。さあ勝負の選択肢、打っていく。これ申告圏内になったんでラッシュ。
ナイス。でけえ。
さあこうペースうまい。あ、それ入れるんだ。外野していく。おお、そしてきた。オーディコンゴリーサダが見えているですね。ラッシュ伸ばしてのカメハド。おお、怖い。
5キロコンボ怖いわ。
簡単なのにできないのそれ。
怖い。いやマジでドキドキするわ。
かなりシュートの前に来る手段をサコが
はいはい。
でかすぎ。
ナイス。
使ってはい回復ですか。
回収しつつ大きくリード。引き強強靭大足締め。
はい。でかいね。
さあもう通常だけも受けれないか。ここで
通った全部通した。
いや嬉しい。まだした
流れよか
った。めっちゃ嬉しい。
ナイス。
こういう組み合わせやからな。
ここ春国怖って思ってたけど、打ってたわ。
さすがに匂ってたから、それは打つよ。入れ毒やからな。
Weekly Street Fighter League Japan 広島ティーン戦響き
時間帯踏んで減らしてっていう展開。うますぎ。切れ味抜群間違いない。めっちゃうまい。両者ともに判断間違い。上を仕上がりすぎている両者。スーパーアクセル全開。しかも風1本溜まってます。やりすぎだ。おいやセーフリバコー完璧なタイミング。一瞬で終わった。いいですね。1本回収した。これでかいですね。技あり。うわーメキシコ台風大ダメージめちゃめちゃ減った。中断仕掛けに来る響き。これでフルセット。ほぼ被弾がない鳥飯。上これ体育になっている。素晴らしい。大吉作上体育次はジャンプ上飛びが通った。すげえ。
さあここからはマッチ
Right down to it, it is the marquee matchup of the week with Division F with Hiroshima Team Ikuza facing off against Belc Fau Gaming. Going off with the away side, we got the heavily wind coming in from Hibiki, the ever-coveted Lily. Everybody's had their eye on thus far in the league, along with the man who's been in top contention for Division F as one of the main point leaders. It is the Neon Genesis, Hikaru, with the ever-impressive Aki. Coming up with a man who's been grinding it out all week long. I've been watching closely to his streams. It is Jazzy, coming in with that fighting spirit and his Akuma. All under the tutelage of the man and the magician that is Aqua, who is quite the battle director, I will say, in other things too. Producer of other games, so to speak. But him venturing out into the pro world, I love it. And him as a leader, love it even more.
So they're gonna love to go up against the bottom team right now, as Belc Gaming currently has the lowest record thus far for this season. Let's see if they can do something different and prove the haters wrong and amass some points. Hopefully, at least try to scrape at that playoff position. You've got such a decorated amount of players and a team behind you. It's time to step up. It's do or die for Fau Gaming. Let's see who they got on their team, on their squad. start off. The pad master himself, the DJ Tiesto. So TS putting a lot of pressure on people with the Akuma and the Ken. I like that combination. Also like the fact that it's over when you have to fight the likes of Ryukichi. When he hits you with any sort of combo, it's going to hurt. Let me get a Twitter clip out of you. After that's going to be the Eyes of Desperation always open, but has not been available to play just yet. Hopefully today, with that Bison, Ryusei. Last, but definitely not least, the strongest spear leading the charge of Fau Gaming. It's Sako, old but still young in the game. This team, despite the pedigree, despite the history, has not been able to live up to the expectations. And a large part of that is the league is such a difficult thing. When you have so many strong players out here. Oh, the cap power-up, oh, it might be over. TS with the cap power-up, it might be over for the other team.
Neko-chan. Very, very cute. One of the hardest things is being able to focus on games while having a cat, I would imagine, because sometimes you'll get that cat that can be a little bit clingy. They'll like jump up on the desk, get in the way, or like jump up on the fight stick, kind of just hang out. I definitely experienced that before, but not my cat, but you know, when I was coming over to a friend's place. But either way, I digress. Let's talk about the matchups at hand. Jazzy coming up with the Akuma. He's been working really hard these last couple of days. Aqua with Blanca, and then Hikaru as the anchor as Aki. Your thoughts, Senkola, on the current lineup?
The lineup's great. I think it's, on paper, it doesn't seem that great because there's a lot of good characters on the other side that can work out, but these players have proven that no matter the matchup, they'll stay solid. However, Fau Gaming could put up, when you say Bison, I think that'd be a good choice to start things off. TS Ken, because Ken does very well against Blanca, and Ryukichi Ken. Hold on now, Ryukichi now? I thought Ryukichi was going to be at the anchor to fight Hikaru. Like, I feel like that'd be a good matchup against Aki. I guess maybe you set up TS at the very end, but I feel like Ken would have been really good against Hikaru, and I think someone like Ryukichi would be really good against Hikaru.
You know, how often have we seen Ryusei play? Actually, now that I really think about it, let me double check. But I think maybe for Hikaru, we might see Ryusei if Bison. If Bison, maybe JP, to be honest with you. But if you're looking at the current standings, if this is accurate, Ryusei's only played 3 games. And he's played once against Crazy Raccoon and gotten the W. Now, his only W was against Bonchen. But Ryusei really hasn't been involved, which is kind of the surprise because I love the way he plays. I've been enjoying the way he adapts to a lot of the players here. I love his style with both Bison and JP. He can prove to be a very valid threat. So we'll see. Maybe he'll be busted out for the anchor matchup.
So I saw Hikaru practicing with Aqua with like JP and Aki. So maybe they expect that. So maybe that will happen. But we'll see. We'll see. Right now it's Ryusei sitting in the stands, Ryukichi up right now, which is, again, this is also wild too, because I think Akuma does very well against Ken. However, I'm sure that Ryukichi has had a lot of experience against his character over at EWC, playing online just in general. We're getting the interview right now. Jazzy said, playing at Singapore, I felt pretty confident about this game. Ryukichi says, I'll do my best. Now, when you were watching Jazzy stream, what did you notice from him in terms of like his strategy, his training? What did you catch from him?
From Ryukichi?
No, from
did I misheard?
From Jazzy. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. I might have misheard. Sorry. So I think he's more so like fine-tuning a lot of what Akuma can do under pressure, and he's kind of been reacting a lot to things that can happen in neutral against a variety of different characters in the meta. From a lot of his streams, he would start things off with doing offensive training, then go into, it's like in order it would be like offense, things to look out in neutral, defense, and then ranked. But as it stands right now, you're facing off against Ryukichi, who could throw out so many different variables on offense that'll really be difficult to contest against on defense, in my opinion.
And the reward that he gets too as well is insane. I mean, this guy is a technician. Every interaction is a Twitter clip. But on the other side of things, when I watch Ryukichi, for him, he's been practicing some other characters. He was practicing a little bit of the Kami, so if it comes down to it, maybe we'll see it out here. May not need it though. Gets a hard knockdown. tries to dash up. Throw is teched immediately. Nothing on the shimmy though. Try to tap parry in between.
The counter hit, standing light kick, as you had mentioned earlier in the very first set. Wow. The bust out from Ryukichi. Again, he's so unpredictable, right?
Oh, the punishes too as well. Flow state with the DP right after that light. The shimmy, the finesse and bless. We don't put him to rest just yet. DP ender. In burn up, but not out of options. The throw right after will seal the deal. Jazzy looking a little bit more pensive than usual.
That was such a sick snipe out against the guillotine. Very last second crouch jab as the anti-air. What is this, Street Fighter 5?
For real.
Ooh. You can't stop this man 100% on OD uppercuts thus far. Only 2 of them, but still.
They rack up though. Drive rush forward, Pierce. Tatsu enter, drive rush overhead. No, it's a medium. He committed to the heavy button. Got caught with the counter with the jump light kick. Commits the medium. Run cancel. Doesn't finish the plate though. He's got the bar at the bottom to do so. Don't whip a single button, Jazzy. I swear to God. Don't whip a single. Don't let it hit you with a crouching medium punch. Ooh, crouching kick. Crouch Pierce stuck in.
You literally asked for it, and that's literally how the game ended, by the way.
Ken wins.
So wild.
I guess that Cammy ain't necessary. He's fine with the Ken. What happened on paper don't always happen in the matchup, but honestly, Jazzy playing a little bit more pensive than we usually see him. Like, remember the last season, we used to call him a Legend Slayer because he would be taking down names continuously. And it was kind of unexpected. I feel like he's on the back for a little bit more. I'd like to see more of these initiators. Whenever I watch this stream, you'd see, like, if he wants to initiate against, like, a crouching medium punch, like if they're stopping his drive rush or they've got, like, jabs or whatever that they're trying to check him and challenge him in neutral, he'll do the drive rush Satsuino suppressor. Drive rush adamant fist. Catches everybody off guard. Gets so much reward off of it too as well. And the fireball game is a little more established too. It feels like he's a bit more lost, and when he does try to initiate with guillotine after he got hit with the fourth state knockdown, maybe that also made him like, well damn, what can I do in this matchup? If I can't do my plus frame scenario, what can I do?
That is a tough call. I think that's a very common tactic that's been kind of showing up in the West, now that I think about it. We've seen a lot of those tactics kind of being utilized where you would drive rush forward and in anticipation for any sort of counter normal that gets pressed by the person waiting for the drive rush. You know, that's really common, right? Like we've seen this before. People would start to use special moves to kind of halt their momentum and punish the counter pull, right? That's been a very common thing thus far. I don't know how much that would affect someone like Ryukichi. I think he's been very much aware of that type of meta, in that type of playstyle. So we'll see.
Let's establish other things first. The right kick hits, gets the counter right after. The stand line kick, DP finisher. Oh, hella meaty off that stand medium con, ducking. So extra damage. Longer conversion, longer combo. Level 1, finish it, get it done. Yo, Ryukichi turns everything into a Twitter clip, a highlight. It's about to be a big highlight for his team right here. Fau Gaming, not that many points they named. Ryukichi looking to score some on the board, finally.
Oh, could have been kind of dangerous. So Jazzy has the idea. Oh, yeah, you tried to sneak a Jinrai in there. Waited for the needle. Jazzy, he tried to press the button again. Said that was a frame trap indeed after the low, or into the low, excuse me. Anti-air uppercut. You got it like that. Yes, sir. Does properly apply the meaty. Ryukichi was trying to press a button upon wake up. How do you get out of the corners, Ryukichi, though? Just a couple of lights. We'll take that back throw. This is going to be difficult now for Jazzy. No, he backs away. Ryukichi doesn't want to be overzealous with his approach.
Getting close to that kill shot, so it makes sense. OD fireball, drive rush, stand fierce for the fault right after. Expense on the bar. Go up level 3 in the sequence. DP, not enough. It's not enough. He was hoping for it. This calculation could cost everything. Fireballs are chipping away. Drive rush forward, fierce to find the finish.
There was something I noticed. Ryukichi actually has taken a couple of risks with some of the lighter Jinrais and fully committed to the strings. But Jazzy, I was going to say, if he had done OD uppercut a little bit earlier from like the last instances of the Jinrais, I think he would have finished it against Ryukichi early. But now that he's in burnout, it's so tough. You cannot get out of the corner for free that way. Ryukichi spending a lot of bar too, and so much chip damage has happened against Jazzy. Jesus.
Trades. Hella in favor of Ryukichi right now. Has a good position. Perfect pair on the fireball, staying on ground, and also keeping that drive gauge nice and healthy, much as possible. It's back to the green. The perfect parry is there. Tick throw. You'll take that though. Pretty fireball to cut through, but no drive rush right after. I like that. Stand on ground. Drive rush DP in burnout, but definitely again not out of options. Could get to a significant chip out.
He's got it. Either way, blocked, hit, whatever he finishes with, Ryukichi easily would have gone to level 3 for chip, and that was going to be it. 2-0 in favor of Ryukichi. We were asking for points on the board for Belc Fau Gaming. This is the perfect way to start it off.
Again, on paper, not so good, but he played that matchup very well. You know, saving the bar for the right moments. Obviously, didn't have the right calculation at the very end, like the second to last game, but was able to route it back and then put himself in a one-touch scenario, being able to chip out and hit that level 3, as you mentioned, to get the kill. Just really dominant. There were moments where Jazzy was kind of like standing on big business. I mean, he was very solid in terms of like stuffing, stopping, drive rush, and dash ups with jabs and crouching medium punches and stuff. But in terms of offense and sometimes defense, just kind of get cooked up. And the calculation, Ryukichi, I feel like every interaction leads to so much for him in terms of what he's able to get off. Yeah, and there we go. At level 3 behind to stay fine. That's 10 points. But Fau Gaming, knowing what's at stake, knowing how far they are below the line of playoffs, and other players too as well, other teams I should say, they know that they need 40 bombs all the way. They know everything matters out here. You can't even leave with 30 or 20 or 25. You need 40 bombers all the way through the rest of the season to even have a sniffing chance at getting the playoffs.
はい、中堅 TS 後期操作対クラシックでお願いします。
TS Akuma coming up for Aqua's Blanca. Very, very interesting. Now, we haven't really seen, I think, this matchup in Division F as often, if I'm not mistaken. But looking back at it, let me double check just in case. Yeah, between these two teams, so Hiroshima Team Inc. is actually got the big 40 bomber against Belc Fau Gaming. We actually didn't see the Blanca come out as Aqua wasn't even involved in the equation. We had the Hunter team with Hibiki and Hikaru going in second and third. But interestingly enough, yeah, we don't really get to see this matchup too often in regards to Division F specifically, right? But it's going to be a very interesting development either way. I love the way that TS has been playing as of late. He's been getting some points on the board for himself as well. We'll see. We'll see if this pays off. I honestly expected Ryukichi to possibly step up to the plate, but I'm also still pretty happy to see TS step up in these last couple of weeks.
I feel like TS also has the cannon in the back pocket if need be, if things do get real dicey for him. And Blanca players have complained about that matchup for a while. And it's kind of understandable. The poke game with the fireballs is good. The stand fierce, the heavy kick is hard to punish from Ken. And I think in this matchup for Akuma, the fast fireballs, the variance makes it hard for him to properly slide through. So we'll see how things wrap up in this match. Though we don't get to see it that often in the league, or unless you get to see the rarity of like Nishikin playing on ranked or in tournament. We'll see what happens out here with TS. But again, they need as many points as possible. I'm surprised that he's going up. But that has to mean that Ryusei goes up last, right? It's got to.
So I agree with that. And to kind of backtrack a little bit, I was looking into it. TS faced off against Fenrich's Blanca and obliterated him in the anchor matchup. He 3-0'd the heck out of him. I forgot.
Was it Akuma?
This was back in week number 5. This was with Akuma. He beat Fenrich 3 games straight for 20 points in the anchor positioning. This is the moment where we're thinking to ourselves, will TS step up to the plate as one of the new kids on the block? Because he was on a 3-week losing streak, right? He lost in week 1, he lost in week 2, he lost in week 4, but he also had like a really heavy amount of battles, to be honest with you. But yeah, the last time he was up against the Blanca, it was indeed against Fenrich in week 5.
Okay, so this makes sense. Okay. Like, definitely forgot that time where he kind of turned up like volume and was able to show his team that, hey, we're still on this. We can rise to the occasion. As you mentioned, he had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations to get there. He had to go through the rungs of the first twos and the first of threes. But it worked out to make such a fantastic player to take down someone like Benridge. Now, for the interviews, Aqua says, we know that in the previous games we're 40-0, so talking about the ones that we had today. We're planning on doing so as well, but Jazzy lost, so we'll be happy with 30. TS says Ryukichi did a fantastic job. Want to get more points to go to the playoffs. We'll see if that happens. Aqua off to a fantastic start, able to interrupt that drive rush with the crouching medium punch. OD fireball, the normal fireballs. Again, the variance makes it hard for Blanca to skate through.
What a snipe out too, that was so far. You know the objective is burnout? TS might just get it. You didn't believe it, the standing like it punish. But either way, objective completed. He got the burnout.
Definitely rock with this. That push to the corner with his fast fireballs. Variance lands on it, the heavy kick. I love that, the fireballs are a mix-up. Charge up level 2 fireball, guillotine, OD fireball. Over the chip, no, it's a shimmy, the finesse and bless. No bar necessary at the bottom to put him to rest. All right, TS.
My man smoked him on the ground. He walked back and forth and baited him hook, line, and sinker. I love that. With all the momentum on his side, it made sense to do it. The bust out immediately against Aqua's approach. That roundhouse again, getting so much mileage out of it. Aqua has to go into level 3, get some of his meter back. It's not gonna kill against TS, but man, it's gonna create a lot of anxiety towards the Akuma main, as he doesn't have that much room left to work with. Yeah, one throw is all you needed. Aqua tying it up. Very expensive, but tying it up nonetheless.
See what happens this round. The anti-air is there. Driver's throw. A lot of bar. TS definitely wanted to use that bar for like level 2 and then like use level 1. It's like the second sequence. Just use it for level 3 if need be. ODDP in between the string. Yeah, that's not free. Suppressor is perfect parried and the punish right after. Looking for the hop, the reposition. Crouching medium kick lands for the opener. Double frame kill. Back medium kick for the plus frames again. Main comeback is Aqua. So doing that bar at the bottom. Get to level 2.
How many has he landed thus far? Almost all of his OD uppercuts had landed. Wait a minute. He dropped it. He was too far away, and that was Aqua's mistake. TS is going to capitalize on it. Even if he didn't die, it's a burnout, but you already know. The sip of calamity enough to satisfy anybody's thirst. I like that. TS getting the first game in a very explosive manner, banking on the big mistake that Aqua had thrown out there, missing and dropping the combo out of range.
He was ready to do so too. That stand pierce was immediate. The fall right after. TS looking for the suppressor, but as you mentioned, these players not faltering and falling to it. They've already been hit by it too many times. There's the punch up the stand line kick. Some distance to the drive rush. Overhead is blocked out this time. Backs up, drive rushes right back in. The aggression up as much as possible. Pretty decent defense here from Aqua, not getting caught with too many things like the DIs and other openings. What's in a counter combo? First throw, punish counter. Dash up OD fireball and another shimmy, a micro shimmy at that. The crouching medium punch to seal the deal. Set point, TS.
This is the cleanest that I've seen TS play thus far. Outside of the big OD uppercuts that he's thrown out upon wake up sometimes against Aqua, he is looking so in control of this matchup. It's insane.
Interruption though, lift off. Jump back, it's DP. I thought it was gonna be a jump back heavy kick, but still, lightning beast coming through though. Can Aqua disrupt the rhythm that TS is playing at? The Walkashan is there, he blocks it out. Reversal jab, gets a counter it. Baits out the OD DP, easy bait up and falls to the fireball. Top's not gonna go for the super just yet. One more sequence. Oh no, delayed on the button. Oh, with another drop, that could have been it, but he'll still get the drive impact.
That could have been so scary. Because TS did have a critical alert on deck. Counter hit, off of the dive kick, sweep, dash up twice, the Oki. Little spacing trap 2 after the target combo fireball. What do you do now as Aqua? Exposes the low, TS tried to move on back. Great block on the overhead 2. Aqua, speaking of 2s, again! Oh, the uppercut from TS. Great block on the overhead as well.
Dive kick nice and low. Repositioning himself to be able to get that. Not in a punishable manner, but he beats with the feast upon that drive gauge. It's gone. 1 second. It's the health he's coming for. How do you defend the air right there? Calls out the throw, the double neutral jump, or the neutral jump just in general. Okay, Aqua switch up Lightning Beast to feast upon the drive gauge, and then also keep up pace with the likes of DJ Tiesto. But I will say this, though. I will say this. It's by centimeters, because that drop could have been everything. It could have been TS's win.
That's a call out we haven't seen thus far from Aqua. The immediate jump back air ball. Oh, that could have been a little bit dastardly. Had Blanca landed on that fireball. Let's get the mediums. Slide on the way through, a delay on the tech. TS with the defense. Roundhouse again, checking the air raid. No demon flips for you.
Stagger step, the crushing medium punch connects. Beautifully done. Catching that button whiffing, and now Aqua has control of the pace, control of the momentum. He's on set point. So heavy kick, Tatsu Ender. So you're at the corner. Plus you're on the medium. We'll take that throw. Way worse. This time try to delay.
Oh, too far out.
But no big punish though. Yeah.
Activation of the Wild Beast. You know what the objective is. He tried to parry. TS might be in burnout pretty soon. He puts himself into burnout. And he still manages to get the back throw. Aqua couldn't layer the DI to secure the wall splat.
Possibly buffing that level 2 against a block of ball or any sort of entry point. Not there though. Runs the overhead. Far back. Oh yeah, back in business for sure. Back heavy kick. Spin here. Level 2. Should be coming through. Oh. Yes, sir. Imperium's in.
That was sick.
That is a dumping of damage, brother.
That was a sick sequence. I haven't really seen that routing before. The level 2 into it as well. Extremely well played from TS. Neck and neck thus far. Look at that match point. 1 bar apiece. Equalizing the life. Does get the throw. TS starting things off pretty much in his favor with back-to-back throws. Oh.
Punish. Maybe not in range for sweep. Fireball's definitely harassing from a full distance. You do not want to land on that. The drive rush heavy kick as we saw previously. Switching up with the fireball instead of just going for like the dive kick or the guillotine. It's racking up, it's adding up. OD fireball. Overhead DP pickup. That was sick. And the tick throw to seal the deal.
TS with a very impressive performance, excuse me. He had the pickup mid-air on the overhead. My man was ready like that. On top of that, he had the routing towards the Empyreans, and this was a very, very sharp set of games from TS.
We kind of mentioned this before, but like, he's willing to spend that level 2 and not wait for like just like level 3 for the victory. I like seeing Akuma players using utility at level 2. You save the bar for a little bit later on for the next round, and you have the pickup right after, especially if your routing's good and you have the drive gauge behind it. Fantastically done. You know, Aqua definitely had some good sequences here and there where he's able to kind of keep up pace. That mistake could have been everything. But there are too many mistakes, I think, overall. And that allowed TS, I think, to reroute himself and be like, okay, I can definitely do this. I can get my W. Light and the Fierce, or the Fireball. Yo, this is godlike. Crouch Fierce, level 2 Fireball into the level 2 Empyreans in. That is insane. Beautiful reward.
That is a hard combo, man.
That is not easy.
That was such a hard combo, man. But it was fancy. Fancy as hell.
Worth it.
So, the last member of the team from Belc Fau Gaming could either be Ryusei or Kazunoko. My heart and brain says Ryusei Bison.
I'm with you.
さあそれでは対象戦を戦うホ
But
ームチームの出場選手使用キャラクター操作タイプを申
It
告
could
い
set
た
up
だきたいと
Sako.
思います リーダーより申
I
告
would
お願
not
い
agree
し
with
ま
that.
す
I think on paper, it's a good matchup, but I would rather see Ryusei.
JP 操作タイプクラシック
Thank you!
JP.
And it's JP.
来ました対象は
Okay, so both sides had to have known this because when I was on CFN, I was watching Hikaru playing a lot of JP, like versus JP against Aqua. So they had to have been like prepared for this. Not a matchup I get to see typically though. I don't know if this is that good or not on paper. If Bison would be better, but either way, JP has had some significant changes. The anti-crouch fierce being, I think, one of the most prevalent ones, being able to check the sky approach more continuously instead of hoping and praying that you get the trade, allows him to establish more of that zoning game, and if they do try to come through, you're ready to pop them outside the skies. Also, I guess the forward heavy kick, having more of that routing back in its hands, also allowing this character to be a lot stronger when he does land that corner pressure. I feel like this character is still slept on. He's still really good. He still has matchups that he's not so good in. The pixie characters that have dive kicks are problematic, so I don't know if it's going to be like that in this matchup, though. I'm not got to see this or study this one too much now,
Well,
but I think both
let's
sides
kind
are
of bring
ready.
it back
because
to
okay.
I agree. I think both sides are absolutely ready. I think one of the things to highlight, I mean, obviously JP having his crouching heavy punches back is phenomenal. I think the forward roundhouse also was a pretty good idea. But let's bring it back to the ground game initially, right? Most Aki players revolve their openings around the bubble. I think JP does a great job of nullifying that because of the spikes that he has available to him, but also just the standard fireball game he can throw out with the ghosts. I think in that department, JP does have the upper hand, which could cause a real big nuisance towards a lot of the Aki players to get a little bit more creative. Granted, it's not like Aki can't contest. Like, she could reset the timing for, like, maybe some of the ghosts by maybe doing the coward crouch stance, but it's difficult because if he decides to throw in like the overhead ghost, I think it's still clips. So overall, JP is a big hindrance towards what Aki wants to do to get things started, right? We can talk about her offense all day, but if she can't even get close to you, which JP does a great job at, then you might call it lights out early.
Maybe like the game plan for JP this season. I think all the JP players that are still around recognize that it's more of that zoning game, so they're more prepped to prepare for that sort of situation. As you mentioned, like if she does go for the fake stance cancel, there might be like the fake ghost into Pierce immediately. That could also be another option too as well if he doesn't commit to the overhead fireball. That it just could add up. And then once the knockdown happens, it's departure. It's a lockdown in neutral. You try to go for the Venomous Fang, you don't time it right, extra damage on the way. Got the interview. Karu says, I'll do my best not to make this episode end with a 40-0. Yusei says, I know this character has a lot of chances and possibilities against anyone. I'll finish it off with a 40-0. We'll see. Dog Fau Gaming, as we mentioned, needs as many points as possible. 40 bombers, I think, are everything to them.
This is going to be a great start now for Hikaru. He's already landed the objective of closing the gap against JP. Now he gets to harass within a range to get Serpent Lash and contest a lot of what JP's normals are usually trying to do, which is counterpoke. But whipping a bunch in the air right now, Ryusei, he's spending a lot of gauge just to push himself out of the corner and also to suppress Hikaru from moving on forward.
So we're pressing a button because those buttons have been nerfed recently. Light Lash might clip. Oh, the walk back, as I say, the stand fierce actually able to whip punish. Forget whip punish, I'm sorry. Normal fireball, no OD spin just yet. I think that might have to be something that Ryusei does, is hit the OD fireball, spin some OD gauge right there on the Amnesia back throw. Just to establish that corner game.
Yeah, the only time they used OK, what an escape route from Hikaru. Super smart, and even better coming in from Ryusei with the perfect parry. Double departure, baiting out Hikaru. Yeah, his objective is to force the burnout from the... Oh! He just got stuck up completely. The frame kill? Ooh. Could be dead.
Immediate. It's doable. Big spin right here. You've got the CA, drive reversal. So much bar built up. Utilize it. In knockdown and a departure to help out here. OD departure spins the bar immediately. Teleport in. Stand fierce to stagger. Nothing doing. 10 seconds on the clock. Can you weather the ghastly ghost? He does. Oh, look at the defense. Look at the defense. And he still claims his life, even at the final second.
So much meter drained from the side of Ryusei. Hikaru's got both offense and defense unlocked. He's been the complete package even before we saw him play over in Street Fighter League. But it's crazy. He's still getting better and better. Calling out defensive decisions from Ryusei already. Close to burnout. Back into the corner. No, I lied to you. Defensive regular throw.
It's kind of weird that he did not go for the back throw. Perfect parry is there. The punish right after. Cruel fate. That heavy lash ender for the poison. Drive rush overhead. But yeah, you say new 2. He blocked it out. Drive rush interrupted. Not so close, my friend. A stand fierce. Poke, prod, and punctual. Right on time. Hikaru. Another victory. First game to him.
That was such a huge swing of momentum, I feel like, for Hikaru. As soon as Hikaru had blocked out the level 2, I felt Ryusei was pretty drained mentally and was not ready to expect to combat against the speed that Hikaru was going to be consistently playing at, right? Just the overall offense and pressure that Aki does present against JP can be rather overwhelming. We've seen how often Ryusei had to rely on a guess with OD amnesia just to deter Hikaru. And it wasn't even off of, like, I want to say it didn't even net big enough damage to force Hikaru to back off, right? Like, even after getting the OD amnesia, what did he hit him with? A throw, right? And it wasn't even like a throw that led into a juggle. It was just a throw, and that's it, right? Side switch, momentum, etc.
Now, the sad thing is, like, you had him also in the corner, and we're able to do too much with that. You know, not able to, like, knock down, like, departure, overhead, shenanigans, and things like that. I agree with you. Like, that level 2 not really working out. Ryusei's like, why is he still alive? How is he still among the living right now? That defense, I think, just kind of put him off guard. In my opinion, I don't know if the JP is working, at least the way that Ryusei is playing at the moment. I'd like to see the Bison. I'd like to see it early. I'd like to see it before it gets to a final game scenario. We'll see what Ryusei runs, but I'd like to see that Bison come out earlier rather than later. I feel like you do establish what you can do with the Bison and have some games to play with, rather than do it like the last moment and kind of get the possibility of getting just rushed down by the character, overheaded and knocked down, and then, I guess, sequence into oblivion.
Perhaps, man. That's something that we're so used to seeing from Aki. Once they have meter, once they establish burnout, it is a little bit problematic, right?
Liberating right now. Again, I'd like to see the Bison. Come on, Ryusei. Either that, if you're playing JP like this, honestly, I'd like some of that drive gauge to be spent less on OD departure and more on OD fireball, just to establish some of that fireball game. Since the normal fireball game hasn't been working out, we see Hikaru immediately using OD fireball from his side of things. Go ban for him. If he doesn't hit the OD fireball to get the knockdown, so you can get normal departure off. Maybe go for Pierce right after you be able to set up that zoning game like you'd like to. Maybe that might be a switch up to help out. But even then, I don't know. Hikaru's playing so well in defense. That's just like one layer you can only add.
We'll see if we can establish a different look from Ryusei. Possibly be a little bit more aggressive. And as we thought, yeah, throwing out the OD already. But it didn't last for too long. Hikaru already applying the poison. And now we see JP in the corner. Ryusei is going to be fighting for his dear life too. Serpent Lash is one to keep him in check, but also with the air approach, crouching heavy kick does a great job of keeping Aki safe and also occupying a lot of that space above to anti-air correctly. Serpent Lash again driving on in there as well. Ryusei getting his defense tested.
Trying to drive right outside the corner has not been working out at all. It has been continuously check the challenge with stand fierce lights and things like that. Light Lash looking for a poison explosion, but honestly, he has had such a big lead. It may not even matter. OD fireball. There's the departure to set up. Hikaru's like, cool, I'll just chill. Oh, perfect parry, whole parry against it. Interruption as you try to come to me. Fireball game has to get better. The perfect parries are denying that, the normal parries as well. One touch scenario, OD fireball.
Could be a Serpent Lash as well if it's counter hit.
Yeah.
Exactly that. You read my mind, brother.
We're here.
despite Burnout being the objective for Ryusei, I feel like, well, he's almost there now. That wasn't the case like 10 seconds ago.
Barry was clutch.
But again, it's such a long con though, right? Even if you do get the mix-up, if you get the mix-up, that is a big if, brother. Hikaru blocked the whole thing while in Burnout. Ryusei is getting tested again. Not only on offense, but also on defense.
That wasn't even necessary. You really would have lived through the entirety of that, pretty much. You got to open up for like a crashing mini kick or an overhead, but you would have lived. So let me show you why I'm above you. Damn fierce to pick up Fireball. Gets hit with the Fireball, though. Instead, the fall right after. OD to lock him down. Reversal buttons. Okay, that was fake. Harsher to lock him down full screen. A lot more fake Fireballs. But also, you see 2 more Fireballs right after. Cool Fate comes out in rebuttal. The OD sword. For that level 3 hit confirm. Will he find it?
What a fake out! That is so devious. My man did roundhouse into the fake dash and baited a parry from Ryusei. He's testing his defense again. That was insane.
Karu said, my defense is good. What about yours? Ryusei, please switch. I'm begging you, bro. I need to see the Bison. Bring out the Bison. I've watched. When he does stream, the Bison's great. It looks fantastic. I understand the idea on paper of playing JP, but those elements are starting to get knocked away. Perfect parry has been the play against OD Fireball. He's not faltering to the Fireball game in general. Doesn't be able to find any normals. Hikaru was just playing 2 on point. You have someone that plays JP on that team. They were practicing days ago. You know Hikaru's going to be ready for this matchup. Give me the Bison. Bring out the Bison. I'm sorry. I need to see the Bison. At this point, bring out the Bison.
He said it at least 5 times in that segment. Bring out the Bison. I agree. Let me add a 6th one to it. So I think it would make sense. I think having a character like Bison to kind of swing back, swing just as hard, get past perhaps a bubble or 2 if Hikaru ends up throwing it. I love Bison as like the way to kind of like throw out counter normals a bunch against Aki's normals way more than I would JP. I think being able to counter hit a lot more often with Bison leads to just so much more.
Have the ability to kind of hang back. If they do the Fireball, you have the OD Cycle Crusher, so that's less they can do for their Fireball game. You have the Stomp. In awkward angles where the heavy lash may not reach, or even the crouch heavy kick, it may not reach. It may be a risk for them where they just kind of hold that. You have the ability to kind of put them on their back more continuously once you get in, and you can really get aggressive and aim for that drive gauge deletion play that I've seen Ryusei do. I want to see it in Street Fighter League, bro. Bring this character back out. Like, it's time. The JP, they have a game plan. They have a JP on their team, and whatever you bring, it's not going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough right now. I think Ryusei, maybe juggling 2 characters and maybe not mainlining JP has made it more difficult to have more minute decision making. Where you can see Hikaru was like, I'm there, bro. I've been prepared for this matchup. Bring me the Bison. I know I keep saying it, but I want to see it. I'm going to be so mad if I don't see it.
That's 6.
Oh. I'm going to keep Adam on the counter.
We're going to get the Bison, the Bison call-out award as a... for the commentators, perhaps? You're going to win it, obviously. But it's going to be the JP. It's going to be the JP from USA.
Call with a dash up. You see the lights coming through. Amnesia. Trying to reroute things. Nice and early, at least. Doesn't wait till like he's like mid-health. So you like that shown early. Time to crouch fierce works out. Stand fierce doesn't, though. Way more with punishable. So set up the entire time. Crouching medium punch blesses that drive rush. Departure has definitely been the name of the game right now. Whenever he can, get that departure out to prevent any sort of aggression from Hikaru, but we do when it's not out. 2. Dan Pierce, OD Pierce, OD departure. Yeah, walks back for the crouch Pierce. Way better. All right, let me take away my Bison ass and keep the JP. Seems A-okay.
I was definitely holding my breath.
I'm sorry, Ryusei.
Watching that entire sequence, I was 100% like holding my breath. I'm like, Ryusei, this is your one chance, dude. This is getting like way too intense. The pickup, yes sir. Being able to juggle because the poison was applied. Venomous Fang for the carry. The damage pretty significant.
Something when Ryusei wants to like drive rush in or dash in. Ooh.
Right, right. Oh, the pickup!
Right,
yeah, level 2.
Distance.
Damn. Hikaru is so smart in keeping up the poison status of his opponents to understand when the pickups can happen. Sometimes it's gonna be a little bit overwhelming to have to like micromanage that as well on the other side for the punish counter. Obviously, being able to traverse past that was all according to plan from Hikaru. The poison again being applied. The overhead should be enough to get a level 2. He actually dropped the combo and it reset the damage against Ryusei. I don't know what had happened, but there was definitely a counter hit in between and the combo marker actually reset. Hikaru takes it 3 games straight. Did we expect anything else though? Did we really?
No, if it had been the Bison. Yes. Honestly, I don't know. I think when I watched Hikaru play and get ready for the matchup, when I saw this, I was like, yeah, it's probably gonna go in Hikaru's favor. He was so prepped and prepared, ready to like prepare the fireballs and establish his own game plan. And as we saw at the end, he went for the OD fireball to bait out the crystal slash so he can get the cross up button. And that button was definitely doing a lot of work to call out the throw. He reset the damage at the very end, which we'll see, I would assume, in the replays here. But the defense also against level 2, that's not even like an Aki thing. It's just a Hikaru thing. Like, he's just so prepped to play. He could have just taken the hits. He would have been fine. He probably would have lived. He decided to block it all out and showcase that his defense and offense were 2 on point. And even 20-20, now we get the final game, the first to death coming through. Honestly, you just sent up Hikaru. You just set him up. Hot seat him.
100%.
Although this time, do you think Ryusei should go up though?
No. I think I like TS. I think Hikaru had mentioned this on a couple of other interviews, or at least the time he's been able to speak in front of the camera. He's mentioned that Akuma gives him a very hard time. Let me see though. Yeah, Hikaru makes sense. He also speaks English, pretty decent amount of English. I've actually been able to say hi to him and talk to him about Aki and some of his matchups that he doesn't like. I asked him like, who gives Aki a hard time? He's like, Akuma. I don't like Akuma. Oh, it's actually going to be Cammy from Ryukichi? Very interesting. That is from left field for me.
He was practicing Cammy on his string, but I didn't think it'd be for a first to 1. And even though this matchup is good on paper, you know, the dive kick pressure is really good against when Aki would like to anti with like heavy kick or like heavy lash, or whatever it may be. The reward is so insane for the character. It's Oki right after, it's reduced amount of pressure. The normals are really good too as well. Really good in terms of checking like stand fierce and stuff like that. Cammy's got quite a good hefty lead on that matchup, almost like Akuma. However, Hikaru's played that matchup a lot. He's played that EWC, he's played that online, he's got a good game plan for that. He has been well melded in that, even in Season 1. Do you have a game plan for the likes of Hikaru? You maybe win the matchup on paper. Are you ready for this Aki player though? You've maybe melded this Cammy for other Aki players, but this is like the Aki player. And at first to 1, I would have thought maybe Ken, like a character that you've been playing for a lot longer, a lot more warmed up with at the very least. Like, I think Ken does well against Aki too.
Now that I mentioned it, I think Broski had talked about this before. When I think about like the matchup spread that Aki does well against, does poorly against, I think he had mentioned Cammy as well. But one of the other characters that give him problems is definitely Guile, which obviously Belc Fau Gaming doesn't have. But Cammy, I can understand why. Like, it could be a little bit troublesome to try to contest against the air approach primarily, but Hikaru has been so sound with anti-airing conventionally, unconventionally. Either he jumps and does medium punches from certain angles, or he'll do crouching roundhouse. And even from further out, if he kind of sees the jump coming, he could also do heavy serpent lash upon reaction. So, as much as on paper, I think Hikaru has a hard time contesting against the air game, specifically for the players, though. I think Hikaru is well versed with what Cammy can present. So who knows, man? On paper, I don't like Aki going into a Cammy matchup. On paper, I like Hikaru going into the Ryukichi matchup.
Yeah, I think he's, again, prepping for those dive kicks, as you mentioned, or any sort of aerial approach at all. And the ground game, too, as well, I'm sure will be insane. However, the last time that he played Cammy, it was Akira. We saw him get a little bit too, I don't want to say autopilot-y. Well, I guess it was kind of autopilot-y, because he did the jump back medium kick to kind of cover some bases against a dive kick, and that was called out with a short hop dive kick into like a super. So I wonder if Ryukichi saw that and was like, maybe I can do something similar. Maybe I have my own strategy against this. Either way, we'll see. Hikaru says we got 20 points. We'll get the extra game and get 5 more. Ryukichi says, if I win here, it'll be the first win for our team. I did this matchup, and I'm confident with it. He's confident going in for this first one. So he gets it done. Final game of the night. Let's go.
Pretty aggressive thus far from Hikaru. Just looking at the drive gauge being depleted from the side of Ryukichi kind of tells that story with the big jump in. It was a punish counter, so Hikaru had pressed something preemptively. What a way to get out of there. This guy's reactions on defense are insane. It didn't lead to much, but man, that's still something to note.
Still going to a corner though. Crouching medium punch, trying to put a buffer. Jump fierce, shimmies off the stand medium. Okay, Ryukichi getting hella aggressive. Level 1, yeah. Let's get it done. Spin that bar for a damn near perfect. Considering how well versed Hikaru was in this matchup, it's obviously Ryukichi taking so dominantly so far. OD cool fake to start off the party. It's like Hikaru special. Oh, he tried to rob him in the pockets, but now he almost out of drive gauge. Is that the right call?
Roundhouse? Oh, I was waiting for the roundhouse to come out from Ryukichi to kind of like force Hikaru to just hold on to a block and possibly get a burnout. But speaking of burnouts, the Baroness is here, getting the chip damage. And even if that didn't kill, I think that's the kind of sequence that Hikaru could probably come into a level 3. Ooh, interesting. Still managed to hit.
Oh, low engaged. Right bubble ender. Expect the turn with the crouching medium kick, the trade. Throw punish counter. Be careful with that same medium kick. We saw it get jumped in on continuously. Trade again. Not willing to block now, willing to perfect pair and get the back to positional advantage. Trying to go for the forward heavy kick. ODDP, we out of there. A blessed reversal. Oh! Breaking the throw. It's about kill shot range. Drop gauge behind it. What's the entry point? OD dive kicks.
Perhaps. But surprisingly, he plays on the back foot despite having the life lead, and I kind of appreciate that. I mean, which makes a lot of sense. Now that I really kind of think about it, but.
Parry right back at him. Flash overhead. Pulse parry against it. He knew too.
Taking a little bit of that damage. 14 seconds on the clock. Ryukichi. This is a first to one, by the way. Anybody's game. Whoever lands this hit, and it's gonna be the confirmed. Oh my god! The only thing you could possibly confirm into to kill from that low forward, easily the super. This guy is insane. This guy is the best.
I'm flabbergasted. My man landed that at the 11th hour, hit the crouching unit kick. I mean, we've known him to hit those crouching unit kicks and stand fierce into supers, but in that moment, in that opportunity to close it out when the seconds are winding down, when Cammy could drive rush into you at any point, hit you with a dive kick, get a jump in, a dash up throw, anything could happen. He takes advantage of that sequence, able to sneak in the crouching unit kick and hit the super to seal the deal. Hikaru takes it for his team, 25 points and bring it back from the break. They were getting absolutely washed. One of the most dominant teams up in the league, and Belc Gaming was doing great in terms of drawing blood, but Hikaru in the anchor again, clutching it out, man.
So well done, so well played. And Ryukichi, I mean, he had the right idea. I can't take that away from him, to be honest with you. He was grinding out the time very well, and that you can't even call that a mistake, man. He micro-stepped forward and ran into the low median kick. Hikaru had done that as a preemptive measure to check the approach, and it succeeded. It was really up to Hikaru to get that confirmed. I don't think that was at all in fault of Hikaru. That was actually kind of rough. Man.
I mean, he had done that bubble.
Yeah.
Like, it's like an ender, right? Like, you'll do that bubble, and then you'll kind of wait for them, like, to walk up or whatever. But before, he did nothing at all. And then that second time, that's when he hit the crouching unit kick to kill. Like, he set up himself up for success. In the first one, like, it's good.
That is, as much as I'm kind of, like, taken aback, I was rather quiet because I'm learning Aki right now, and I'm also putting Cammy on the side. So I was really, like, invested to see what the answers were from Hikaru. I think Cammy does an amazing job against Aki on paper, genuinely. So seeing Hikaru pilot the way that he did was a phenomenal showing, right? I gotta say that was we talked about the Shard Mago being like the marquee matchup of this week. Hikaru and Ryukichi has to be a pretty close second. Even though it was only one game, I think that was like maybe maybe that'll be an honorable mention because I still like TS versus Aqua. I think TS really laid it down today. TS versus Aqua was also a really wonderful matchup, and I think overall Hiroshima Team Ikusa and Belc Fau Gaming, they played their asses off, man. I think it was truly the marquee matchup for this week, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But all niceties aside, Belc Fau Gaming currently at 70 points. Even if they played flawlessly throughout the next couple of weeks, the most they could score with their current 70-point position is, what, 190 in total, right? Because they have 3 weeks, 40, 40, 40. My math is correct. Yeah, the most they can score should be 190.
Doesn't sound too good. This 40 bomber would have been everything again in sniffing distance. Possibility, but still, no matter what happens, I think all teams should play at their best. You know, you want to have a good showing no matter what and not be last place if you can't hit the playoffs. But that goes to show how difficult it is out the league. You know, every team is so strong, and sometimes it's just placing the players where they need to be. And I feel like that was the biggest issue for Fau Gaming for the longest. It's like, where do I place this person and who do I have fighting against this person for this matchup? I feel like it was more a matter of that than it was the players playing horribly or the choices of their character. Again, Ryusei, man, if you would have played the Bison, bro, I'm just saying. When it came back to the dictator, I think that would have been a little bit better. But I think those things are what separate the players more than like actual skill. I think everybody's on a pretty similar level, and it's just certain decision making, you know, learning matchups and like how hard they lock in is like the difference maker. The interviews for all these players. Sabiki says today was a 40-0 game episode. It's pretty scary until the anchor really relieved by the win, so they were able to stave that 40-0 off and not at least walk away with 25. I'm sorry. Jazzy says, I'm really sorry about my loss. My opponent was really good. And Aqua says, unfortunately, I lost, but I had a good, detailed game. The game, or the team, was relying upon Hikaru at this point. Will get better and make everybody win.
Yeah, that's no fault of their own. I mean, Aqua, I want to say, I mean, there was some pretty significant faults from his overall performance against TS. He had dropped, I want to say, like 3 or 4 sequences that could have gone in favor of him, possibly taking down the round against TS. But they're very small errors, right? Execution errors in regards to like how it played out I don't think it was too bad of an ordeal. But either way, I think TS was more than prepared for that matchup. We already seen his results versus another one of the higher-end Blancas, or high-end Blancas, I should say, because Aqua's also been throwing in his Blanca into the ring in a very high fashion. Very, very hard to stop, too. So I think TS just happened to be the better player this week. Team Ikaza still walking away with at least 25 points, a pretty big deal. 170 going into the final standings. Pretty impressive. But looking into the rest of the interviews, Hikaru talking about it. I was in great condition and was simply happy about this win. I was thinking of the possibility of JP coming from Ryusei. Good thing I trained for it. As you had mentioned, stalking the CFNs, that was all on his record. Same with I feel like what Ryusei was doing too, right? I think he was still also trying to study up on what Hikaru was doing and try to prove Hikaru wrong on the JP matchup, right? It makes a lot of sense too. If you see somebody on CFN like grinding for your character, you think to themselves, all right, like what is this character doing that is going to be like a weakness for them, and how do I approach the matchup differently in regards to how he's been training for it? I think it makes sense to still do it that way, but I also think it makes more sense too to throw out the price. That's going to be the ace 9th time, perhaps.
We'll see what happens. You know, again, in terms of what's going on, it just switches up strategies and minute things. But 40 bombers for the first two matches, CAG and Crazy Raccoon 40 side of Crazy Raccoon, and 40 for the side of Yogibo Reject against Varrel. 25-20 is how we end the night out, though, for Hiroshima Itsuka versus Belc Fau Gaming. And these were some pretty wild matches. This could have went for another 40 bomb, to be honest, if Hikaru did not step in and get his win and takes that final 1-1. Overall, some really great action. I mean, it's been like that every single weekend. I feel like we never are disappointed when it comes to Street Fighter 6 action out here in Street Fighter League. And these are the final standings. Yogibo Reject, 205 points, sitting pretty. 170 here for Crazy Raccoon. Team Itsuka, 170. CAG Osaka, 135, Varrel, 125, and Belc Fau Gaming, unfortunately, has not crested over 100. They're only at 70.
That's wild. Crazy Raccoon with a 2-team jump up into second with everybody in gear. This whole thing was actually rather scary, right? We had 2 40 bombers in a row. We could have had a third victim. It was actually getting towards that ending, right? Belc Fau Gaming with the first 2 games to themselves. But as good as their performance was, it doesn't necessarily reflect the current positioning, right? They're still in 6th place. They still have to try their best to break the barrier and go into the playoff positioning. But the other 2 teams, CAG Osaka, Varrel, pretty much neck and neck, still doing a great job of trying to represent themselves. It could still be anybody's game, and that's the best part. With 3 weeks left in Division F. And it's gonna be pretty wild too when you look at what's on the schedule coming up for November, right? I think this weekend we're gonna do a little bit of World Warrior recap. I actually had forgotten whether or not Japan is gonna be playing this week as well for World Warrior. I'm pretty sure they are, right? Right before the Super Premiere. Also, perhaps, but either way, this is gonna be the current schedule as we see it. Division S is gonna be returning on Tuesday. We see Fukushima Ibushigen versus Shinobi Gaming, Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto versus Nagoya, NTP Oja, then Detonation Focus Me versus Good 8 Squad.
A lot of action all lined up, continuing. So we get to that playoff point, and we're going to have some tournaments here and there. We'll take a little bit of a break. But again, 11-1. Close to my birthday, by the way. Being rewarded with some good action out here. Varrel versus Belc Fau Gaming. Crazy Raccoon versus Hiroshima Team Itsuka. Yogibo Reject versus CAG Osaka will round out that week. Cannot wait to see what happens out there. As you mentioned, it's so close. Everything very much in contention. And we're not going to stop until we get to the playoffs. Again, only 3 teams will be moving on. The other 3 teams swept to the wayside. We'll get the full schedule here in a second so y'all can screenshot and mark the full calendar, but at least you have 2 coming up. Coming through. And then we have the Super Premiere next week that y'all will lock into as well. So World Warrior, possibly a Super Premiere and Street Fighter League. Nothing in terms of lacking for Street Fighter League action or Street Fighter Japan action, I should say.
That I can wholeheartly agree with as you take a look at the current calendar. Excuse me, I was going to say schedule and calendar at the same time. But yeah, man, there's going to be a lot in the realm of both SFL as well as the CPT. Nothing is really blocked out until like November. I want to say the weekend of Blink Respawn right? You have the 8th, 9th, and 10th blocked out. Or say it's technically the 8th, right? For Division F, and then S is also blocked out on the 12th as well. So a lot to really look forward to. A lot of majors. You have back-to-back majors again. This is going to be kind of insane. The Super Premiere of Japan is going to be happening on the first weekend of November, which we're going to see in full graphic. I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but just be sure to mark your calendars. There's going to be a lot of that action with how exciting it's been. With all the offline events, you definitely have to tune in to some of the online events with the World Warrior. This is what I was talking about. I was wondering when the next one was coming up. It is indeed going to be November 17th. World Warrior, Japan #4.
Some distance till we get that, but again, never sorry for good action for Street Fighter. Can't wait to see again. With Shuto being out of the running, or already qualified, I should say, how things are going to be shaken up. And everyone in the World Warriors has been kind of wild in terms of who's taking who's in that top 8, top 16 spot. Your favorites don't even make it in sometimes. Your favorites get surpassed by other players. So everything's still up in the air, and I think at least that one will help solidify who's moving on to the regionals. They do have public viewing. You can join none in with the QR code. Scan that and join the likes of Itazan, Aru, and Hamiko. Again, I'd love to hear what Itazan says about some of these players, to be honest. I know he'd have some jokes. He is definitely a big jokester, so you can join in that public viewing by scanning the QR code. But it's cool that they have public viewing and a place where people can watch these World Warriors. They hold these World Warriors in such big reverence over there, which is really great to see, and I hope the rest of the world has that same sort of energy. I know there's some offline World Warriors that they run for some finals last year for Street Fighter 6. I'd like to see that happen for this year, if it's possible.
We talked about it earlier too, the Super Premiere Japan happening real soon. No longer available to sign up and participate. However, you can still be there in person to spectate all. It is much more electrifying and exciting when you get to watch it right in front of your very eyes, see it all unfold. I know everybody from around the world is going to be coming to this event to snag that spot, those 2 spots, excuse me, to make it into Capcom Cup. We have a handful of people coming from the West. We have so many people coming in from EU. You best believe we have so many competitors coming in from Asia in general. But also, make sure, if you're in Japan, to tune in to the playoffs. I know they're going to be doing a online viewing on the 21st and 22nd, but I'm sure there's going to be a handful of watch parties. If you're not, hey, you can still catch it with all of us later on. They talked about the early screenings, like the day of, and how they debut it a little bit later on. I think that's been how it's been for the last couple of years. But one of the things I need to know, man, the S-ranked seats are sold out for the grand finals. That's how you know these tickets are hot. February 11th. Mark your calendars for the grand finals in Street Fighter League Pro Japan to see who faces off against the other champions at Capcom Cup. That's going to be happening March 9th, but just in case you hadn't seen the schedule just yet, it is going on March 5th through the 9th with Street Fighter League World Championships happening at the end. But again, the grand finals in February, you got to be there for it.
You should be there in person if you can. Again, join us. Well, probably have the restream, I would assume, but again, never starve for Street Fighter action out here in Japan. It's cool again to see everybody showcase that love, and you should be showcasing a lot of love for not only the European Street Fighter League, which will be happening real soon. November 15th to the 26th, it's going to be live. I know you people have been asking for live action. We're going to get it here in Europe. Can't wait to see what teams are out there. I know the Birds have already kind of spoiled that they're going to be doing something out there. We'll see who else joins their ranks as well. But also the US, which will get that side real soon, which has been going and flowing real hot recently, and a lot of smack talk, a lot of energy from the players on Twitter and in the seats. It's been a good watch all the way through. Make sure you guys catch everything that's happening in terms of League and Street Fighter when it goes on. For this one, it's Wednesday, every Wednesday, beginning October 16th. So it's already going on. If you've missed anything, hit the VODs.
100%. Yeah, all the action coming in from Street Fighter League, it's expected to be electric the whole way through, and you expect it even more so to be a big challenge for all of these teams. In the meantime, that was week number 7. We hope you guys enjoyed it all as much as we did, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you for the next one. Take care, everybody.
ハイライトをご覧いただきます。お楽しみに。それではディビジョン S 第8節でお会いしましょう。皆様さよなら。さよなら。さあこちら順位が近い CAG 大阪、そしてクレイジーラクーン。フェニッシュとしてはここからそのまま決め切りたい。おお、崩した。たださあ うまい。
おー、
ナイス。いい。
ナイスとしれ。
敵やね。
ごめん、ちょっと怪しかったかも。いやいや、全然いい。
ええやん、ええやん。
さあ、これ勝利抜けた。しかし、ラッシュ投げ。
うわ、ごめん、ミスった最悪。
うわー、多重突出たなんか。
ラッキー。何の追殺だ今の。
飛んできた。
そうですね。ただ数の子がもうこれ
わあ、フーリが降ってきた。
ごめん、マジで。
うわ、神業。よし。
全く見せていなかった。
神業っす。お見事。
スピンナックをするような動きですね。
さあ、ここは削り皿を見ているようですが。
するような動きですね。
まずい。
さあ、ここは削り皿を見ているようですが。
いやー。なんでまずいって言ったの？完璧。
今まずいって言ってなかったですか？
え？
誰かまずいって言わなかった？
行くはずって言いました俺は。
まずいって言った。
誰か僕まずいって言ったかと思って。
いやよかった。
いやマジよかった。
ありがとう。ありがとうございます。
さあ、逆タックはしのいだがこれ出してきてる。出た。
いや、やるねー。アキラさん、ひどいことしますね。
やるですね。
今日は不安だったんでマジで。
大量リードです、レシャー。うわあ、これだ。
いや、ごめん。
4枚。
いや、申し訳ない。
オーケー。見逃しませんでした。
いやー、1本いっちゃいばっかだ。
いや、これは良かった。マジでギリギリだった。
いや、マジでよくかった。40点獲得。40対0です。
いや、この試合取るはすごいよレシャーマジで。
いや、頑張ったね。
確定しない。出る。
100を2個がくぐっていた。
オッケー。ナイス。ナイス。うますぎ。
それはね。
ここ大事すぎる。おキャビン投げ。
ナイス。だけど、いや、よく中段からしてる。最後の勝利はしびれたな。
強パンチが襲いかかる。そして中段。本命とも言える打撃。そしてこれ補正が。
補正切れてます。補正が切れてます。
何でもあるやん。
補正が切れてます、ヒカルさん。
危なかった。
なんかアキの火力。
うわあ、確認した。うますぎる。SA3 を出してきた。外資。
いや、ごめん。
おお。これ行く？行くんじゃない？これ補正ないから。ないんだ。見すぎる。マジかよ。うまい、ヒカルくん。ありがとう。
球を追っかけて。
ヒカルくんマジだ。本当に。天才かよ。神キャラ。ヒカルが。